Oh no, I've been swamped.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to session number 20. I did catch that, Sara, at the end there. Session 20 of the Imris Saga. How's everybody doing today? We're jumping straight back in. I'm just, last time, this is really loud.
You ask how everyone is and then didn't leave a break for anyone to talk?
Yep.
Because I have a 20-minute dissertation about Hudson Hawk as the best version of a Dune movie.
See, I know about what happened last session is I got Charlie scrawling out notes to me like a Pepe Sylvia moment about what last session was.
You could have watched last session.
I did, but I watched it at 3 a.m.
Fair.
The best time to watch it.
That's a really good comparison of that moment, though.
Yeah.
We
should be fine.
At the end of the last session, you guys had, well, at the beginning of last session, you guys had finished your long rest in the sewers, came out of there, went to explore the tower, nearly got caught by some of the guards is the wrong word, but patrolling demon bands on your way into the tower, but were able to sneak inside with some misdirection, some cleverness by Alveron. Kind of quickly went through the tower, same thing as before, heading kind of up to the top, and then you were going to work your way down. At the top, you found the altar where the keystone crystal would be placed, protected by a pair of hellhounds, a bearded devil, kind of captain or officer looking, as well as a chained angel. You guys kind of formulated a plan involving Will going invisible and getting the crystal in while the others kind of played distraction, fighting off the enemies. And the plan went pretty well. We ended kind of as the fight was wrapping up with Medea's turn about to go. The chained devil is seemingly on its last legs.
Chained angel.
Sorry. Chained angel. What did I say?
Devil.
The chained angel. Excuse me.
What's a changed? What's a chained angel but a devil?
Just the most important mistake.
And you said this thing seems possessed, from what Charlie's told me.
It kind of
it's
has
bound.
that.
It's bound.
That vibe to it. You can go ahead and roll me an insight check. We'll just kick things off with that.
Okay.
Get a vibe for what's going on internally with this angel.
9.
You have no idea. It's angry. It's very angry. That's what you're getting out of it. Yes. So as far as you understand, the chains are kind of affecting its mind somehow. But when it was kind of described to you, it's not just that it's like magically possessed. There's physical effects going on here, and Will's attempt to dispel the chains to knock them off unfortunately failed. This is very powerful magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It went real bad. I got blown up.
Medea, you know that you're like we said, or I mentioned to you, your powers, your magic has been a little bit on the fritz as you kind of have lost the way of your previous oath and might be on the path to a new one, but haven't quite gotten all the way there yet. But it is your turn.
I think Medea's got a very direct action, and they're going to look to the party and say, I need a moment, and they're going to pull out the holy water and attempt to press it to this angel's forehead. And speaking in Celestial, as they cast protection from good and evil, say, whatever remnant of you is left in there, I offer you up one last chance to give yourself a eulogy or make a decision.
I was just getting cut off. I yelling too loud for us
I
to
apologize.
hear.
I said I was very excited to have Sara back at the table.
All right, go ahead and click on the spell. We kind of.
I don't know if it matters, but if I'm Would it matter if I like spent it at a second level spot and used my inspiration or something to help it out here?
Ooh.
You still have inspiration. You mentioned you thought about doing this. I will give it disadvantage on the wisdom saving throw if you
Okay.
use your inspiration. Unfortunately, the spell is the spell. It's not much like
Okay.
spell.
Alright, I will.
Maybe if you could
give
cast
it
it at a particularly high level, but second level is not going to affect this particular instance.
I will attempt to give it my inspiration.
It's going to be rolling at disadvantage.
Cool.
Oof.
Jesus
Pretty good.
Christ.
Okay. You press the holy water up against it, in incanting as you do, praying. You feel the holy water, and you all see visually as it kind of hits this creature's forehead, pain mixed with relief from the creature, and you almost see like its eyes lose the bloodshot quality for a second. But much as before, when the holy water was placed on the chains, it seems to like be pushed back away. The creature is still, I'm going to say, stunned by this in this particular instance. It kind of, although it isn't able to free the creature from its chains, from whatever effects it has, it does seem to stagger the creature to such a degree that it is unable to act on its next turn.
Okay.
So it would go, it kind of is shaking its head, flinging the holy water kind of again. There's almost a circle where you've pushed this, or placed this holy water on it. That is again, so like kind of radiating outward, closing.
Dia is also going
yeah.
to look to Uba and the people around them and say, give me whatever time you're willing to. But I think this thing, at least given effort, might have the chance to speak.
Right. Uba, what are you going to do?
That is a good question. Is the plan still trying to like at least knock this creature out? Or
Medea is trying to see if they can give it enough wherewithal to communicate.
I see. I think I think I'll put bounty hunter's mark on it so that I don't accidentally kill it, or Uba doesn't.
I think it's already.
You already have it on it
Oh, do I? I thought it
Yeah,
was just
from-
hunter's mark. That's my bad.
from last fair.
Okay. I guess Uba's just gonna attack again.
Oh yeah, is this thing bloodied, by the way?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's like about to die.
It's very wounded.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So hopefully knocking it out will do something. So I'm gonna attack with my dagger twice.
You'll want you to do it twice. You also technically have advantage because it's stunned.
Oh, okay. So should I
Just
roll?
roll one more time. I forgot to look
Okay.
into your damage thing.
Yeah, it's. Let me try. Will this work? That's just damage. That's so weird that it won't do them together anymore. Okay, so are we just saying the two rolls that I did was the first attack for 26?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it goes
And
down with the first attack,
Do
if
the
you make a second one, it will
Okay,
potentially
and then
draw
roll
it.
it with advantage. Oh, now it works.
Jesus.
Good job, fix that. Roll the bounty hunter's mark damage.
Do we know, does the rest of the party know how Bounty's Hunter's Mark works?
Do you mean like the players or the?
Like,
Yeah,
has Uba filled in how it works, like, to the party in character?
No, I think
I also don't
Um,
think we
Yeah,
would
I
be
don't
able
think
to
so,
see that
no.
it was under that effect.
visually, I think it is clear that they are not trying to kill the creature.
Yeah, I've
watching
had
this.
any of Uba's effects that are like
Okay,
healing or
wonderful.
silver. So Bounty Hunter's Mark has like a little silver dot, but anything that Uba's gonna kill is gold.
Mhm.
Okay, so I
Yeah.
think that should.
It's clear this is like a restrained maneuver as well. Like the way that Uba is
Hmm.
fighting is slightly different.
Yeah. So I think that should be.
All right. Yeah, it goes. Unfortunately, that critical doesn't really matter. It goes down from the first strike.
Oh, okay. But it's not dead. It's just unconscious. So.
Yes, you have rendered it unconscious for the moment, so it's in game terms at 0 but stable.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I can do anything else, and Upa is going to physically restrain Kojin from trying to fight the downed angel.
Agent's first hunt is to kill an angel.
Yeah, you kind of. I think what happens is you kind of club it with the gem end of the dagger on like the base of the spine, kind of jumping up there. It kind of falls to the floor in a heap. Still breathing. It's kind of winged straight over itself. You're not sure. Normally, like a blow like this would keep a creature out for potentially hours. You're not sure how long this particular creature is going to stay unconscious. But for now, it has been knocked out. I am just going to end the combat, I think. I don't think we need to be in order at this point.
Mhm.
For the time being, anyway.
I don't want to be particularly alarmist, but we did just light a beacon to where we are in the city.
I understand. And like they'll look to like Ort and Sulveran. There's one last thing I'd like to try. I don't think we can leave this thing morally here suffering and chained. But I'd like to give this thing a chance to give an answer to whether or not it wants to die.
Alveron looks over at you. Ooh. Walks over, breaks the chain of the seawater around his neck, and hands it to you, Medea,
Mm-hmm.
and says, I don't know if this will help at all, but if it can, just looks over at the manacles on this angel. I've never seen irons that didn't rust with seawater. And for the first time in I think for the first time since he was a prisoner aboard the pirate ship, Alveron actually prays to Semillus. And he prays like he did when he was a teenager.
Andrew, can I make a religion check about the regenerative properties of angels if you cut both their arms off?
Probably gonna die.
But what a fucking tone change!
You don't need to make a check. It will probably expire.
Yeah, but if we're like making sure that it doesn't die, that might break the possession. No chains. Angels might regenerate their arms. That's fine.
Medea's going to
I
say,
see you don't want that solution to this puzzle, Andrew. I understand.
I think Medea, as
Yeah, you're welcome
it
to
said,
try it. I'm just, it's gonna cause damage, and the creature's at 0, so.
But that's what gentle repose is for.
Yeah.
I think
And if the
cutting
angel
off
has
its
no
arms
arms,
would
then it's a
be-
lot easier to carry.
That would be massive damage. It's unconscious, so you're just cutting off its arm. That's
Small.
massive damage.
Medea
This
will look
feels
to Alveron.
sacrilegious.
Sorry, Sarah, go ahead.
I think Medea will look to Alveron and say, if we are to break this thing's chains or have any hope of it, I think we will need its help. We'll need to struggle against them one last time.
Sulveran is going to take up a spot nearby the angel with his alpenstock at the ready, the actual weapon and not the spiritual weapon. And he is going to reach out and just like lightly squeeze, I guess just above where Medea's armor stops at their neck.
Mhm.
And I'm certain you have my lady's blessing as well. So that's guidance.
Okay.
He will stand ready to. I mean, he's clearly in an executioner's pose, ready to stand ready or finish it, depending on
Mhm.
the answer and what happens.
Also, they will look to Ort and say, if you could bring them up from the brink, and I will use what magic I have left to help.
Hey, if you're sure.
Medea gives a mostly confident nod. You know, like the kind, like this is as much as he possibly could be in the situation.
Suppose if this doesn't work, we're all just standing around, so it's gonna go very far. Yeah, so he's just like waiting to cast Cure Wounds.
Medea is going to put the hand on this thing's forehead and reach out a sort of like forefinger to it, and say a sort of silent prayer, the degree of, O son of the gods, you have been bound here too long. Perhaps you may find respite or freedom here. But whatever parentage you have, come to aid us now. And they're going to sort of like look up. Not in a deifying, worshipping manner, but almost like somebody, like a kid looking to another kid's parents, you know? Like they're looking for whatever entity is watching, whoever is capable to try and help what Medea sees as their child.
Ort will cast Cure Wounds as this is happening. Beckety. Alright. You give up this prayer as Ort reaches down, gently touching the angel, which then eyes pop back open. Starts to stir, starts to rise as you touch it. I'm gonna go ahead and have you make me a religion check with wisdom.
Okay.
You
So
can
that's
have, so you're gonna have guidance, and you can also have advantage.
okay. So that's going to be
Advantage is from just so we know, it's from Alveron giving up his salt water that he carries around with him.
so it's going to be 1d20 plus 2.
While Sara
plus-
is doing this, is it possible for Uba to just give Will a quick Cure Wounds?
Yeah, I mean this is
Or is this still technically combat?
no, we're out of combat. This is taking like 2-ish rounds, I'm gonna say. So if you want to like have walked over and cast Cure Wounds once or twice, that's fine.
I don't know if that. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
22 total.
I'm gonna do one on Kojin and one on.
And if it's relevant, Medea also is trying to,
Okay, 22.
I guess not from their oath they once held, but attempting to channel whatever divinity, whatever power they channeled to help reach Alveron out into this being.
Okay, will you heal 9?
I just assumed that one was for Kojin, but thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know.
No,
Yeah,
that's
that one's for you. I'll do Kojin next.
That was actually the first time I feel like guidance has rolled well.
That was a
Yeah.
4. It's a good roll. Just because this kind of happening simultaneously. Will, you are moving to the edge and direct message me. As you look out down to the ground, There are still the demons that were kind of guarding this area, this courtyard, after having heard something. They are looking about, and as you're kind of looking at them, are starting to look up where this light has kind of appeared at the top of the tower. They kind of are aware that whatever effect is harming them, causing them to become weakened, is coming from up there or originated from up there. They're kind of looking up. As you cast your eyes about the city, you don't see like a horde of demons running about anywhere, but the ones down at the base of the tower have definitely noticed you. They're still far enough away that if you wanted to like jump off one side and feather fall down, you could get to a spot where they're not at, but they're probably going to get to the tower in half a minute or so.
All right. I will process that.
Medea, as you do this, you kind of pray. The angel goes from stirring to flashes of pain, kind of recoiling at your touch, at the words that are being spoken. But then falls into a sort of repose, a clarity, calmness. It's like starts to snarl and then stops and like looks up at you. The visage, the sort of fiendish appearance that has been laid over its proper form, does not fully dissipate, but you all see like the wings kind of restore some sheen, some of their whiteness. Its burns seem to stop momentarily, and it looks at you, seeming more itself in this moment, and says,
Medea will lean in close and whisper, "Would you have me kill you now? Or would you try to struggle once more?"
if you possess not the magic to free me, then please redeem me.
Can I make some
Sulveran.
sort of intelligence check to tell if there's any way with mortal power that we could break these chains in this moment?
Yeah, I mean, you certainly could. Will failed their dispel magic check, but they did roll poorly. And it's not really the proper, the easiest way to free the creature. Same thing, your protection from evil and good, probably, it might not have freed it, but it certainly would have helped blow whatever the magic at play here, but that too was resisted. So it's not that you're fully incapable, it's that you haven't been able to do it as of yet. But you can also tell that the respite that you've given it isn't going to last forever, although it doesn't seem like it's going to break right away.
Medea's
Go ahead.
Medea's going to say, "If we are to free you, we will need your help. If you cannot break it now, it will grant you your freedom. But if there is any part of you left that has will to struggle, now must be the time."
Andrew, is there any? Does Alveron get the sense at all that these locks can be picked on these chains with the tools that he has?
As you look over it, there is no physical lock. They are melded with the creature. Definitely, it would require magic. Ort will say, as this is going on, well, I can try to dispel the magic. Still poisoned, though.
Oh, Medea will use lay on hands and cure the poison.
I can get Medea. Don't spend a spell slot. I have
it's not a spell slot. It's just 5 points of lay on hand.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Gotcha.
You
Just so we
couldn't do
know.
that last session.
Yeah, it didn't work the last time you tried it.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
of your.
I have the knot and ointment. I have a couple of uses of that. So that has a cure
That-
poison effect.
How long has this been going on now? As I'm watching demons converge on the tower.
15 seconds, 20 minutes, or 20 seconds.
15 seconds, 20 minutes.
20 seconds.
Will says, I can try and dispel it again, but it will probably kill me.
I'm still healthy. Plus, I've got that temporary HP.
Medea will ask, sort of like beckon Will to come here.
Sure, Will walk over. Also, there are demons coming, but I assume you all knew that.
I did. This is what I have left in me. I am unsure of my power or what's inside me, but in this moment, I hope I can at least grant you some grace. If nothing, at least, then to give this angel some. And Medea will at least try to lay on hands, Will.
Okay. What I want you to do is to make me actually no, I don't think I'm gonna have this be a roll. So as you're kind of doing this, you have
actually
sorry, go ahead.
I want to pitch you this. Medea will suffuse their own life force in it out of an confidence and attempt to essentially give up their own like hit points in this moment to try and guarantee the lay on hands works.
Okay. That's cool detail. And I think it works with what I was about to say. So in this moment, you have been, your original oath was that of vengeance, of, maybe not cleansing the world of evil, but of fighting against this thing. And perhaps since, maybe since you started journeying with them, maybe since the events of the book with Alveron, you've become less sure, less confident in that oath. And you've kind of felt disconnected from it. In this moment, when you go to heal Will, you kind of have a bit of a not like an immediate realization, but you realize the willingness to sacrifice for the others in order to protect them, in order to protect them from these outside threats, from demons, not just from people.
I think very accurately, it's a change and a momentary realization that it is not enough to kill evil, but more importantly, there is a duty to protect the good that is in them.
As you come to this, you are able to lay on hands Will.
I will.
However much you were going to do them. Will is currently down 26 HP.
I will bring you back up to full.
And I think everybody else notices in this moment a change in Medea a little bit. It's not something so dramatic as like they start glowing or anything like that. But throughout this past day, they've been so unsteady, so unsure. But as they've been interacting with this Chain Devil, and now as they are stepping up to Will, they seem again to be more, perhaps even more than they've ever been, confident of themselves.
And I think Medea brings one hand forward and says to the angel, as you attempt to dispel this, perhaps you can work together, and I will do what I can to continue giving this angel the ability to struggle against it.
Will's Will smiles at the healing and like it's very appreciative. And it's very like time conscious and just lifts a hand up and starts casting Dispel Magic.
Immediately begins casting. Okay.
Yeah. Then
We don't have time for like talk to this angel later. All right.
You
Fast.
can you can roll the Dispel Magic. You can normally you can't get guidance to Dispel Magic. In
Gonna
this
ask if-
instance, I'm going to give you guidance because the angel is helping you. So the angel's like kind of its own will force is aiding the Dispel Magic. Probably sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, you're good. I was gonna ask if I could give the angel guidance, but that is they're different options. So
I don't think guidance
I'm
works on
satisfied with-
saving throws anyways.
Yeah. I'm satisfied with that.
Can I bless will? No, I want to keep protection from good and evil on this thing. Yeah.
I will, as I lift up my hand, say a prayer to Syl. Like, hey, Syl, I worship you now. I've decided that I worship you now. Hey, Syl, acknowledge me, Syl. Not like that, but
Is the Dispel Magic an attack roll? Like, does that bless help with that?
No, it is an ability check, technically.
Got it.
I'm not even proficient. Not even proficient.
Got it.
It is an ability check.
You get Jack of all trades.
Yeah, they get
But
their
just
plus
kind of
one.
why I didn't want Ort to do it.
You are better at it than Ort, for sure.
Can Ort give
Cool.
advantage by
I thought it was
also
gonna be a
casting? Holy
3.
shit, okay.
Yeah,
You
me
add the
too. That's what
D4.
it like lingered on.
It was very close. 24, much better. You all see
Still probably going to take the damage, I think.
from sort of from the inside, the chains seem to glow, but with a radiant light as Will kind of focuses casting Dispel Magic on them. They start to rust slowly from the exterior, beginning where Alveron had splashed them with holy water. And radiating slowly at first, but then very quickly outwards into crumbling dust as these chains begin to fall off. The angel then is going. Wisdom saving throw. I'm going to give it advantage for all the stuff that you guys have been doing. 22, perfect, just enough.
Fuck yeah.
You all see the angel previously as it's kind of waxing the fiendish elements. This is more like a burst, a coming to life. The wings flare white. The halo, the sort of black exterior seems to break, shattering outwards, revealing the gold that was below. It's still not quite fully, you think, back to its normal form. You're not sure that the burns on its arms are ever going to go away, but they look more like normal, strong hands. The talons from its more demonic form kind of fading away. Its robes go from the sort of tattered purplish color to a more clean white and gold. The various armor, the sort of demonic armor elements, seem to just fall and crumble away along with the chains that were around it.
Do I still take the damage from redemption?
You will still take the damage. Let me go ahead and roll it. You make the deck saves.
Yeah.
I'll give you advantage because you kind of.
If
Paid
it's
for
half
it.
of that, I'll heal it with healing hands
It's
as well.
4. Sorry, let me roll the other 3d10.
Okay.
So it is 25 in total.
Less than last
Half,
time.
so 12.
I can
I
heal.
did not roll nearly as high as that. I rolled really well last time.
I can heal that.
Hang on. That's fine. I was going to do something to Harvard, but that's fine. I'll just take it.
And then I will think just do that. How much is it? 12?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll throw that plus that on. Essentially just channeling what magic is and to keep Will alert or healthy.
Great. So, it's a collection of hellhounds and bearded devils downstairs. We could jump off the tower,
Uba
find
pipes up
safety
and
pretty
says,
quickly.
"Jump off the tower? Are you kidding me? We're so high up."
Sure, we're currently 20 Ubers up. It's actually more than that. It's probably
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not that far.
No, it's fine. You just jump off one at a time. I'll lighten your fall.
Do we know if this has restored the teleport? Or do we know if this has
No.
restored the ability to teleport in and out of the city?
It hasn't. This is to weaken the demon, so they'll be less powerful. But we still have to go
we
to
know
the
if
palace.
Do we know if teleportation magic works inside the city?
You have never tried
does,
but banishment
but
has
we've
worked.
seen banishment and Alveron's Misty Stepped,
Yes.
which is sure. I'm pretty confident that we could teleport within the city.
If we have no other way, perhaps we still have that scroll.
Sure, if it goes wrong, we'll just get slammed into a force field that you can't teleport through and all vaporize, probably. I'd roll an Arcana check that would happen if the mishap tried to take us outside of Telosinon.
It would be very bad.
Make
an Arcana check.
It is more just suggesting this is like an emergency measure.
I'm pretty sure we liquefy ourselves if the teleportation didn't work, which it might not, because A, I have to conjure the magic at the right time to cast the spell, and then B, I have to know somewhere well enough within the city to have a good chance.
You
Although I guess
also
it's
think if you tried to teleport like out of the city at this point, you would probably just end up like in the air at the edge of the barrier at best. At worst, you have no idea. But teleporting in the city, if you're looking at a place like you've got
25% chance for it to misfire, right?
If we have an actual object from the place, though, isn't it like fail-safe?
No.
No.
Yes, but as far as I know, you don't have an actual object from the place, unless you wanted to like.
We not. I would assume we'd
Go to
have
the
something from
library or
like either
something.
the safe house or the sewers, right?
We don't.
Pick up some
I
sand.
don't think there's.
I can't think of a reason or a thing that you would have
Resource.
taken from either of those places.
Fair.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like the associated object has to be like specifically associated to it. Like we could, with the keystone, have teleported to the temple because that was like where it was kept. Like a book from that library, I don't think is enough. But,
no, you could definitely like the book from the library would help. Associated object is, according to the spell, an object taken from the desired location within the last 6 months.
I can say because I still do have books from the library.
I mean, I have a spell book from the library and a bag from the library.
Yeah.
Still, we can literally just jump off the tower. We can just do it one at a time. Then we can use teleport to leave.
Do we know that Will has Featherfall?
I mean, Will's telling you that she can protect people if they jump off one at a time.
She also said that previously.
Oh yeah. Also, I
session
mentioned
as well.
last session that I had Featherfall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just jump off. I have Featherfall.
Medea will look to the angel and ask, "Do you want to come with us?"
The angel's still fucked up.
They're like a fucking drunk over
it's like
Medea's
standing.
shoulder at this point.
I mean, it's covered from like the spots where you stabbed it, where Uba stabbed it. where Kojin bit it.
It's like a.
It's
Like you're
also,
hungover.
it has the permanent scarred burn marks on its arms. But it like looks at you and says, "I can help my redeemers, then I will go with you." And like flaps its wings briefly. I could
Can you
carry
walk or?
some of you, the small ones, perhaps.
I think Uba's going to march directly at the angel and say, "There's no way I'm jumping off this building. I'm going to take my chances with this thing," and is like standing in front of the angel.
Yeah. So
Will
Sulveran's
said-
going to look.
So go ahead, Charlie.
Sulveran's going to look at Will and say, I could, if it would spare you a bit of effort, I could carry somebody on my round down.
I can
And-
also carry somebody.
If you send me down, I'll carry somebody with me.
With Featherfall, we could all jump at the same time, right?
No, I think Featherfall is.
No, I think you can do multiple people, but like
Okay.
Will literally learnt it yesterday. So
It's up to
Yeah,
5 creatures.
yeah, like you could all jump at once, but like there's more than 5 of us.
Medieval.
But if the angel is moving 2 of you, then you could get everybody.
And Medea can just fly down on their own with their own wings.
Correct. Yeah.
Not
So
not
you
for
could all
nothing,
go
but with the beacon now, can the angels just leave?
It could, but you
I mean,
you asked if or it was asked if it could help, and it's going to help.
The reason I'm asking is this was an angel of some particular dominion, right? Like angels follow particular deities or particular orders.
Yeah, they
correct?
usually serve particular orders. A large proportion of angelic beings are under the purview of Parador, but they can serve any number of the deities. Some of the deities don't really, employ is maybe the wrong word, but don't really have celestial beings that serve them, quote unquote. Like more of the primordial style deities, Mira, Vera, for example. It's
Okay.
pretty uncommon, but yeah, they do generally adhere to a deity or to a kind of subset of a deity.
The reason I ask is, and this is maybe Alveron's lack of arcane or particular religious knowledge, is, I mean, to free an angel itself, to free it from the bounds that had held it, is worth a song. Like, that is something worth writing a song about.
Mm-hmm.
I simply wonder if, in a city of demons, freeing their captive angel, just, especially Alveron, watching what everyone has gone through to try to do so. This was, I think, all of us at some particular point made some effort to do so before it was finally done at great cost. Is this angel able to go home? Are they able to dimension door to their plane of existence and say, "The city is open, we walk again.
Bring
Come,
the
my
host.
brethren, drive these demons out, and bring the host to the city," especially now that we've placed the artifact and the demon's power is weakened? Is there a holy host that can come with us now? And I'm essentially asking the demon this.
You mean the angel?
Yes, that one. They're no longer a demon.
Does this
I
thing
pulled an
speak
Andrew.
com-
I
Does
pulled
this
an
thing
Andrew.
speak? Does this thing speak common, or does this have to go through like the celestial filter?
It could speak common.
Okay.
The angel will reply, to pass the barrier between the planes is not easy. It is possible for one of you to summon one such as I, or for us to be set down. But in my current state, with this barrier that surrounds the city, I could not simply leave.
Suppose then we should try and get you somewhere to recover.
Either that or remove the barrier.
Sulveran
Well,
has already marched over to the edge of the tower and is just looking at Will, waiting for.
By this
Yeah.
point in time,
Another
you look down. You've been talking for quite a while. The bearded devils and the hellhounds are actually already at the base of the tower barking. Bearded devils are still running over in this direction. The hellhounds can't, you don't think, gain entry into the tower, but the bearded devils, I mean, you barred the door and everything, so they're probably gonna have a tough time getting in, but they're getting close to the base of the tower. Again, the hellhounds are already there because they can move pretty freaking quick.
Does anyone have banishment? Can anyone send the angel back to its plane?
We don't.
Yes.
I mean, it can't get back. It's like
Yeah.
Will says in character. I mean, the angel is useful to us in that it is an angel in a city of lessened demons. If we banish it back to its plane, that would be good for our new friend, but worse for our ability to finish the job that we undertake.
That's fair. Alveron just feels a particular
Maybe
religiosity to it. Sara, I apologize.
perhaps we should offer up the decision to them.
Whatever decision they make, they must make it immediately. And Sulveran just points.
Also, I don't want to be the person to tell you this, but this decision can be made elsewhere, not on the top of a tower that demons are rushing.
That's true. Medea is also actively helping pick the angel up and one hand also getting ready and extending their own wings at the edge.
I think that Uba's gonna run and grab Kella just really quickly, so we don't leave Kella in the top of the tower. And
Kella's
is gonna heal.
standing next to Will.
Oh, I thought Kella was still downstairs. Never mind.
Oh yes, she is. You're right. No, you're right.
She is still downstairs.
We did leave her downstairs. I would have forgotten that she wasn't just next to me, as she always is in these moments.
Will would have gone to grab her, but I like that Uba thought of it.
Yeah, Uba's gonna grab Kella and also heal Kojin the rest of the way on the way there, assuming this is a good roll on Cure Wounds, but we'll be back in a second.
Have I tried Lesser Restoration on Ort yet?
No, I think if and now that your powers are back to normal, I don't think you have enough points of lay on hands to relieve them. But
but
I think
the spell Lesser Restoration.
I think you didn't want to use that spell in the moment.
No,
But yeah, you could certainly do it.
Medea will ask as they're getting ready to go, attempt to heal Ort of the poison with Lesser Restoration.
Yeah, you cast a spell. Finally, thanks.
Medea just sort of does the half smile. I can carry you down if you.
I think the angel said they could take me and Uba.
Oh, okay. Well, that works for me.
Oh yeah, and Uba trusted the angel that we were just fighting more than me. I remember that.
Jesus Christ.
Sulveran looks at the angel as the angel is as Uba is going into the arms of this angel. At last, Sulveran is going to reach out, and you said it's still pretty fucked up, and he is going to give a round of Cure Wounds. But it's something he very deliberately did not do until he was certain it wasn't going to revert on them, or and maybe it'll roll sometime. Y'all can carry on while this thinks about its roll.
Fortunately. So who's flying down?
At the moment, Uba and Ort being carried by the angel, with of course Kojin can go with. They're very light. Medea is going flying down under their own auspices.
If
they could carry
Alveron-
somebody, you couldn't fly with somebody long term, but you could glide down with somebody long term, or
Medea will offer that to Alveron, just to ease the burden on Will's magic.
Alveron's a little fucked up, but will like limp over, grab on, and be like, "Let's do this."
Medea will sort of like give like a little fist bump to Alveron. Because they've never carried somebody while flying.
Will's gonna wait till everybody else is on the ground before jumping with Keller and Sulveran. Just in case someone gets dropped along the way.
Yeah.
Sulveran is just watching Will as they prepare to cast this Featherfall, like really fascinated by the idea.
Will isn't preparing to cast it. There's no preparation to cast Featherfall. It happens when she jumps. But she's
and that whole time
thinking,
Sulveran's just like.
How
she's
many
probably
feet up are we?
thinking, we're up 100 feet. Probably thinking, should I jump first?
I think it's more than that, but
I thought it was 100. Sorry, I was 100 at
something
8th
like that.
floor. The 8th floor. When I asked if I could throw my cat off.
Yes.
And like dismiss it before it hit the ground, and you said no. And then it got splattered by this angel anyway, but nobody cares about that.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, we kind of just
Did neglect that in my notes.
It did get full vaporized by this angel.
You did dismiss that a little bit, but like, I can resummon it. So.
Yeah, because otherwise people would be sad, but Will's still pretty sad about it.
At least Kella didn't have to see her like new childhood pet vaporized by a demon.
I mean, Kella of all of you understands the way it works in an arcane fashion the most because of being Will's like student.
Has Will specifically prepared them for this happening?
Yeah. Because of the way that Find Familiar works as well. But
don't be worried if Mr. Snuggles gets fucking obliterated into the ether.
Yeah, my cat has a name. It's not Mr. Snuggles. Also, don't assume my cat's gender, although it is male. So is everyone? I'm waiting for everyone else, right? And then I'm going to direct everyone to jump off, and I'm not going to cast Featherfall. Just to see what happens.
We've got a new cleric. Fuck off.
I think Sulveran would live.
Not right now, he wouldn't.
I feel like people with if you're like 8 feet tall, I feel like you should take double damage from falling.
Right?
You know?
That's what I was thinking.
Like elephant rules.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like you get down and like Sulveran just looks like ground paste in like a fucking tin can.
Yeah. That does seem like massive damage rules. Alright.
So this thing has raised dead.
Just to be clear, are the people with wings jumping down?
Yes.
Has that happened already?
I have taken Alveron down to the ground.
I don't think that's happened yet.
Sorry, I'm also messing with the token.
Yeah,
I think
it doesn't look.
If the angel,
our chained angel is not a BDSM anymore.
Yeah.
If the angel's gone already, you can hear Uba yelling in the distance as they go down.
If everybody's like seemingly ready, the angel will pick Uba and Ort up and flap its wings. You're still heavy, so it's kind of gliding down. They can't carry both of you as it does so. Where Medea will also kind of take off Alveron and tow. Where are you? The two of you just heading straight down? Do you want to try to aim to go towards a particular location? You know that Will, as far as you understand, Featherfall will not be able to travel as far horizontally as the people with wings can.
I think before they leap, they'll literally just ask Will, "Where should I land?" and then they'll take them there.
Yeah, you
wherever
said that
Will
I
points.
could see some spots that we could fall and be in relative hiddenness. Is that words? Is that how words work?
That was
Oh, because
20
we took so long doing
20
all
or
the other
30
stuff.
seconds ago. Yeah.
All right. Well,
You can
it's not as
land
good
in a spot where the demons are not immediately at. Like they seem to be heading towards the door. So if you went to
can
the
we,
back,
jump off the back?
yeah, you could jump off the back, but you know, you're jumping
they
off a
might
building.
hear us.
They might notice. Yeah.
Yeah, off the back.
Okay. So you kind of just aim for the courtyard down off the back.
Yeah.
While we're watching them float down, Will asks Color, do you want to hold my hand or do you want to jump yourself?
It sounds like you want me to hold your hand.
You're on to me again, Color.
Will outmaneuvered, outflanked.
Yeah, and then I guess the three of us will just like Will says, well, we'd best make it fun, and like takes like 10 feet back and then just does like a running leap and hopes that Sulveran jumps near enough at the same time.
Just Cosmos. This is my mom, and then this is my weird 8-foot tall uncle, covered in bones.
All right. Will
Cast Feather.
you cast Featherfall? You're jumping at close enough to the same time that you're, you know.
Can I have
that.
Can I have Will? When casting Featherfall, Will is like, oh, it's like bardic magic. This is easy, and just trying to make it like appear to be almost in a mocking fashion the crows that or the carrion birds that Sulveran often does. But because it's a wizardly magic, it is completely based on the spellbook that she got, and it's like these annoying peacock feathers like erupt around them as they start falling. Will's like very angry. It's like, oh, I can't adapt this spell because that's the way wizard magic works.
Alveron, everybody can see what you just typed.
Oh, okay. So what does it have to be? /W and then the individual character?
I think so.
Yeah, yes.
All right.
It has to be Sara, not the character.
Yeah.
Correct.
/whisper Sara.
Sulveran, I never got the cure wounds. I don't know if you want to try clicking it again.
Yeah, I had to reload the whole thing, so
okay.
You can also just DM me.
Alright. Yeah, whenever Will did her like extremely dramatic jump off, Sulveran just like maybe took like a foot worth step back and then just leapt off, probably getting about the same. Yeah, exactly, getting about the same distance.
Yeah, you're standing long jump and Will's running long jump, same thing.
Yeah, exactly. And the brief absolute like there's a moment where he's like, and then he just opens his eyes and looks at Will, and his face is just slack as ever as they fall.
There's no magic that can save us. No, we're done. We're saved. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Supposed to be at second level. I guess not.
You just roll another d8.
Okay.
Okay.
Not because we like the angel, but because the angel might be useful.
Okay. It's still bloodied, but it's looking significantly better than it did before. You all jump off the side of the building. Some of you carried by wings. Some of you, your fall slowed by magic. I'm going to go ahead and some rolls.
Are the peacock feathers multicolored, or are they some sort of like plain?
Yeah, they're like very extravagant. Whoever spellbook this was, I mean, maybe the spellbook has an owner that is relevant, but in my brain, whoever spellbook it was very like extravagant in terms of colors in their spells and stuff. I mean, Featherfall's the only spell I got from the book, so it will never come up again.
I should
But they're
quite
also
like
very
to
long.
see the birds. I should quite like to see the birds that have such feathers. They are pretty.
This
Will
is
doesn't
the
know anything about peacocks.
this is a perception check to see if you are noticed. It's with advantage because the hellhounds have keen hearing. Oh yeah. No.
I always
Um,
think that is the one.
No, the one is
I'm like, oh,
I forget
it
what
says no.
Yeah, it says no. The flapping of the wings and all of your, less so your voices, but definitely the flapping of the wings, the whooshing of the air. You make a noise as you land as well. The hellhounds, which are on the other side of the tower, as you're landing, all of you land around the same time, within the same turn or so. You all hear the barking of the hellhounds. As you can tell that they've noticed you and they are going to start rounding the tower. From where you're standing, you're not that far from the sewer entrance that you came out of. It's about 60 feet away from you all. You can also head north across the bridge, since there's nobody guarding it at the moment, where there were previously. Although you know that the hellhounds are faster than I think Alveron could maybe outrun them because of the bonus action dash, but none of the other characters could.
Is the sewer is it like a ladder to get down? Like, would the dogs not be able to get down?
It is, yes. I mean, they could fall down, but there's also a cover that you had to lift up, so you could block it that way.
I think
So
probably just... Oh, go ahead, sir.
So we're probably gonna have right.
You kind of cut out in the middle of that.
So I guess what Andrew's saying is, to get the gist, sorry, we're probably gonna have to fight the hellhounds at a minimum.
I think
we're not
Uba's gonna
outrunning them.
pop up and say, if we ran to the sewers, they wouldn't be able to follow us.
Sure,
We'd have a head start.
Their bearded devil keepers would, and they'd know we were in the sewers. We may as well, I think, fight them here. The hellhounds are so much faster than we are. We have weakened them, hopefully. Will kind of shrugs, but is like looking around to see what's like a good defensible position.
Does the angel have a weapon?
Yes, they still have their sword from beforehand. What was I going to say? There are also, you guys are surrounded by buildings as well, so you could try to sneak off into a building and attempt to lose the hellhounds that way. But kind of up to you. I'm not saying you have to fight, just that they are coming and they are quick.
I will say Uba has Pass Without a Trace if we wanted to throw that on and run for it.
Are the sewers not defensible against the hellhounds, at least?
Uba nods and says, I think it would be easier to just fight the bearded devils than them and the hellhounds.
Plus we'd get poisoned.
This is just a thought, but like going through water is a prime way of avoiding being tracked by regular dogs. Would holy water conceal our tracks from hellhounds? I'm just imagining as I'm holding onto Medea and we're falling.
You do
I'm
not
literally
have enough
falling
holy
out.
water.
In enough volume,
right.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just used a lot of what you had.
Jack, I don't know how magic works. Literally a prime conceit of this character.
I love that Alveron doesn't know how magic works, but also never asks anybody how anything works.
Absolutely goddamn not. This is your specialty. I don't ask questions.
In that notion, you could jump into the oasis.
Yeah. Let's just jump in the water. That's only going to kill some of us. I like it. I can't see a problem.
Uba pipes up and says, I can't swim, but if someone carries me, maybe that would work.
Sulveran can carry you. It's fine. Will is like,
All right.
Sulveran just offers out his arm.
This
Will's
isn't
not
time.
moving.
Where are you
Will's like,
going?
let's just fight. Will's like, fight them
think-
here. The Hellhounds can outrun us to any. Just fight them.
Okay, Will
Uba's
is standing
still
put.
pro sewers, but
Also,
Yeah.
as I said this morning, don't run out and get attacked by everyone. If somebody has to do it, today's going to be my turn. Looking at specifically Medea this time.
If Will has decided to make a stand here, Sulveran is going to look at Alveron. Alveron's still pretty fucked up, right?
Alveron has a limp, a bloody shoulder, and their jaw probably needs to be reset. Other than that, though, totally fine.
Yeah.
Easy fix, punch Alveron in the face.
Yeah, no, exactly. Alveron,
Punch from the other
Sulveran
side.
just walks over to him, tilts his head sharply to the left, looks at him from the right. Like he's kind of like trying to decide if Alveron's face has always looked like that.
Wow.
and then he's just going to reach out, and to keep Alveron from kind of like moving away, he just very quickly like gets the back of his head, reaches out to reset his jaw, and pumps a cure wounds into him. It is not gentle.
There is
Good to
profanity as whatever healing occurs happens.
If it helps, I will also pump a cure wounds into Alveron. How much do you need?
I am at approximately a fifth of my hit points right now.
You can take a
Just
second level cure wounds as well.
One day this will cast. Oh no, it'll just disappear from my character sheet. That's even better.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's just terrible dice on that one.
Where'd it go?
That is bad.
Oh yeah, also, Andrew, does everybody start benefiting from my aura at this point?
Yeah, if they're in the proper range.
Medea will ask that Uba and Alveron are near them at least, and you guys get a +3 bonus to initiative.
neat.
Nice. Okay. I will take the
We're all
17.
standing in like a huddle.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Taking
Did
turns
we
over
come
here.
to a conclusion as to where we're going at this point yet? Sewers or
Yeah, we're
oasis or a
You're
standing?
standing, as far as I
Yeah,
know.
we're fighting the Hellhounds.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
they move 50 feet a turn, they can dash 100. It's like they're gonna catch us, and Will doesn't want them to know that we can go in, that we like know that the stills are like a way to get around the city.
Okay.
How many bearded devils did we see following the hellhounds, and how many hellhounds do we totally know we're gonna fight?
I think there's 5 Hellhounds, and like some other amount of bearded devils. It's like 6 and 5.
Okay.
There's a lot.
There's roughly 12 of them because you rolled, whoever rolled the good die bad die rolled 2 19s.
All right.
Like, also,
many-
Will is not standing around being not confident that we can fight this fight. Will's like, yeah, this is like, if we can't kill these things, we should leave the city now.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, at the moment, you guys are kind of in an open, fairly empty square. You know that there would have been market stalls and etc. here, but those have all since been, cleared, washed aside. There's bits of wood here and there where they, would have made them up at some point. But it's just a big, empty, 200 square foot, not 200 square foot, because that's infinitely small, but 200 by 200 area of just like open courtyard where you're kind of standing in. You've elected to make your stand here.
From the time of the descent till now, has it been a full minute?
Oh no, this is happening like.
Okay.
Yeah, I shouldn't
30
have let you
seconds?
talk for
It's
as long
rude.
as I let you.
Is it? It's more for the purpose of Radiant Soul. How many rounds will it last?
So you cast it like immediately before leaping off.
Yeah.
By the time the Hellhounds get to you, like, I'm going to say 6 more rounds. It lasts for a minute, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll say 4 rounds have gone by from you.
Okay.
Casting, leaping off, getting to the ground, looking about, having a quick conversation, and then deciding to stay.
Okay.
I don't know. The Hellhounds, I've just put us on this map because, again, I don't really have a map for this one. The Hellhounds are coming
for
from
a giant courtyard.
I'm also the protection of evil would still be up, I believe, on the angel. Yeah, it lasts 10 minutes.
You failed to cast it. This is my memory.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then I will protect. I will protection of good and evil myself before this starts as well.
Yeah, and just so, because I mentioned this last time, but basically all demons are rolling at disadvantage for pretty much everything because of the effect that you activated.
I will keep my slot then.
Yeah, just
I did not know
remind you of the status of things.
Okay.
Yeah, so the Hellhounds are going to be coming down from the bottom. If people have bows or anything and they want to shoot, because you're going to be able to see them quite a while before they get to you.
Javelins?
Yeah, you could get in a javelin throw.
I've got 135 feet of range on my longest cantrip.
Yeah, I'll definitely be using some. I don't have 135 feet, but I have 60.
I can throw how many rounds at 120 feet would we be able to? 1 or 2?
1 before I'm going to have us roll initiative. Because they're moving 100 foot in 1 round.
Yeah, I'll throw 2 javelins at them. I'll throw both my 2 javelins.
Yeah, I think we'll, once seeing Medea pick a target, we'll aim at the same target with my 1 cantrip.
Okay. And then before the fight starts, I'm also going to throw Bless on myself. Since I'm casting it at 2nd level, it's going to be 4 people. Yes. So myself, Uba, Alveron, and Will.
Do the maths of how much this bonus should be.
These are just normal demons. Infinity Dagger.
Yeah.
And then you get the D4 to your attack roll as well.
Yes, also it's only a 13.
15 total then.
15. Hit the Hellhound. The closest Hellhound.
And I believe I am rolling at... It's control to roll at disadvantage, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Come on, don't make me fuck around with this.
They have disadvantage on attacks, but we don't have advantage on attacks against demons, I assume.
Yeah.
I just want to be able to roll my fucking javelins, and it's like, you need to consume ammunition.
Oh yeah, I had this problem. Because of the way that you guys...
let me see if I can do something real quick.
No, I could just remove the resource consumption thing.
Okay.
There, you should be able to roll. Well, unless you're willing to find you.
Okay. So the first one misses, and then this one is 1 disadvantage roll. I just flipped it. And then that one, it gets the D4 real quick. 14 total.
That's still.
I don't know why it added that.
Does a 15 did a 15 miss as well?
Well, why do you have disadvantage? Sorry, I just.
I'm at 1 max range at 120 feet with the javelins.
Right, makes sense.
So both miss. Yeah.
Okay.
15 also miss, Andrew.
I thought we said 14.
No, mine is 15.
Yeah,
I'm
mine
sorry.
is 14 and Yellow's is 15.
Yes, a 15 does hit.
Yeah, so Will's spellbook coils out of her arm, and at the end of it, it's like pulling this, like maybe 50% larger than any dagger that is really wieldable, and it just like lashes out to its full extent and throws this dagger unerringly at the front hellhound. And will like
Okay.
the thing levitates back and like will fondly like holds it in her other hand.
These creatures are what, 120 feet away?
From the no, at the point we're starting initiative, they are about 30 feet away from you.
Okay.
Just because that's when any melee people are going to start moving, and etc.
Okay.
The point that you can start to see them to cast spells or anything like that is closer to 200 feet away.
Okay.
So if you have something with 200 foot range, you could get it off twice. If you have something with less than that, you can get it off once.
Okay. Yeah, that's
So the range on a short bow is 8320.
You could hit them twice, or you could get 2 attack actions rather. One of them,
One's with disadvantage and one's with
one will be at disadvantage. One will be
normal.
Okay. I mean, this is as we're kind of settling down towards them. Then that makes sense. So I will take those 2 shots and then stow and switch over to the rapier.
Okay.
Can you remind me what's the key to roll with disadvantage?
Control.
Roll.
Control click.
Isn't it regular though, since they have disadvantage themselves?
No.
Oh.
No. The fact that they have disadvantage
on
doesn't
attack.
affect your guys' rolls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I misunderstood what the advantage thing with them was.
And don't forget the D4 too. I don't know if it matters here.
There's no advantage component to the thing's effect. It just gives them disadvantage.
Got it.
Basically.
All right, so that's a total of
That hits.
18. All right. Oh lord, for the short bow, it should be it's D6 plus what? Your dex die?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks correct.
All right.
Oh, you have a bigger sneak attack die now too.
Say that again, Sarah.
You have a bigger sneak attack die now.
Would that count as sneak attack, Andrew?
No, because the swashbuckler thing requires you to be in melee,
yeah.
and nobody's near them,
Gotcha.
and you don't have advantage.
Sorry, that was not correct.
Missing your R.
Yeah, I know. I see it.
Bad
rolled
one,
a-
Pirate.
It rolled your
That-
damage. You got 6.
Wait, but why did it roll a D4? A short bow is a D6, isn't it?
No, it rolled 1d6 plus
The
4.
D4 was your bless. You rolled bless on top of it, right?
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so it did the 6 damage. Good.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's better. And then I get a second attack, not at disadvantage. Correct.
Correct.
All right, I will make that. I will target the same one twice.
Makes sense. There's like one that's a little bit ahead that
Okay.
is now bloodied.
Damn, not a fan of that damage. And then I will stow the short bow and prepare the rapier.
We'll prepare. Oh yeah, I was gonna say I also have pulling out a javelin of lightning.
It's got bows, right?
You know, I thought Sacred Flame had a bigger range than it does. Or it will not do that.
How many? You said there's 10 hellhounds, by the way.
No.
No. There were...
There's a number that's near 5 hellhounds. Who knows how many? And there's a number that's near 6 bearded devils. Who knows how many?
Okay.
We know how many. I didn't take the notes, and nobody else has volunteered the information.
There were 2 patrols that you had run into, basically. Each of them had... I might be misspeaking now, but I don't really want to go back and look. And I roughly remember what it is. One group had 2 hellhounds. Both group had... no. One group had 1 hellhound. The other one had 3. There were 2 bearded devils in one group and 4 in the other room.
Okay.
So a total of 10
Okay.
creatures, a mix of the 2 different kinds.
Hmm.
And if I'm wrong, some of them went to go off and do something else.
They're on vacation, actually.
Yeah, they went to
Quarters
go
top.
report in or whatever else.
It's lunch break. Think demons don't need food?
Exactly. All right, but the bearded devils you can see are running, but at a much slower pace than the hellhounds. So they're like getting to that. They are currently 160 feet away, while the hellhounds are already 30 feet away. So they're going to take a couple rounds to even get into the engage range. So maybe you can kill the hellhounds quickly and get out of here. At this point in time, I want everybody to roll me initiative. Roll for the hellhounds.
You said that, first off, did Uba get a shot in? Because I think Uba's got a bow. And secondly, you said that we would have a time to hit him before they got within 30 feet. And so, yeah, Sulveran would definitely take advantage of that.
I'm out of
Yeah,
arrows.
That's what we've been
and
doing.
javelins.
So if
I
you
can
have...
I would have given Uba javelins. You can have 3 javelins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then
Yeah,
I'll chuck
I
a
just-
javelin.
I just hadn't had a chance to make my turn yet because other people were. So.
You're good.
Yeah.
Also, anybody who's reasonably within 10 feet for this initiative gets a +3 to their initiative modifier.
27.18.
You crit
Cool.
initiative again?
I did.
Jesus.
Oh, do I have Vigilant Blessing, by the way?
No.
Uba,
Speaking of which,
what is your bonus to advantage?
Sulveran, if you want to move that away from Uba, who doesn't need it, I will allow you to do that now.
Yeah. That would have probably been put on Medea, probably. He doesn't know enough about the others, and Will doesn't seem to need it so much. Like, Will always rolls low, but Will, goes well low in the turn order, too, so.
It's not gonna roll
things
properly,
everywhere,
so-
Charlie.
Yeah, it's true, you do.
If
Well,
I'd gone first, my turn would have been far more interesting.
Okay, my initiative is actually 18 instead with the advantage.
I've kind of just placed you as you landed. If you want to move around slightly, you may do so.
When you say move around,
The game is still paused.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Why does it say I is? I'll
I
reload.
can move myself.
Yeah, I don't. Oh.
So Andrew, are we on kind of a crowded street type, or
No,
are
you're
we...
in a very open space. There is the nearest building. Well, the tower isn't that far away. The tower is like 60 feet away from where you are. But the next closest building from there is like 100 feet away from you.
Gotcha. So we're pretty much in an open area with 4 hellhounds staring
which is
us
why
down.
I'm not really using a map, because it's like there's just space.
Fair. Besides the 4 hellhounds, are bearded devils getting closer to us?
They're 160 feet away.
All right.
At the
So
start
kind of outside of our
initiative.
general issue right now. With what we talked about before, or I will wait till my turn. Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ours.
Hold on. Let's do this. Because I think
Okay.
there's a lot of things happening. Sulveran, do you have an attack to do before initiative rolls off?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and do that now.
All right. So the one that got the shit kicked out of it already, Sulveran's just going to reach down, and he's playing a note on his ocarina, and it's his Toll the Dead.
Okay, Toll the Dead does not have
60
enough
feet?
range to get the attack off before we're doing initiative.
Okay, I thought you said that you would do
least-
initiative.
At least 100 feet range is what you need to get an attack off before we're doing initiative.
Okay, I
Or whatever it
misunderstood.
is.
All right, Mars, did you want to go?
Yeah, I'm guessing that I'm going first.
Well, you.
You can throw your javelins.
Yeah, Uba, you were handed a javelin if you would like to.
Oh, okay. And just one, since we're not
Correct.
using initiative order, right? Okay. Let's see if it actually shows damage. Just
It
damage.
just showed damage.
Okay, let's try attacking.
That hits.
Okay, I guess I just have to roll attack and damage separately, but that's
That's
fine.
weird.
Well, yeah, I'm aiming for the one in the front, by the
Oh,
way,
I guess
and
it's not that
also have, yeah.
All right. Now,
Is if
does anybody want to move from where they're currently spaced? Do not move beyond Will, because that is where basically the engagement range is happening. Unless you want to be in front of Will, in which case we'll have to move Will back a little bit. But if you want to move side to side,
Okay.
if you want to go back farther, that's fine.
Andrew, I understand theater of the mind. I
Right.
just want to say, essentially, I mean, my strategy is going to revolve around dipping in, a sneak attack, dipping out, sneak attack, dipping out, like doing that with the effective swashbuckler actions. Are we within range to do so for that, or
The map distances are going to be accurate if you use the ruler tool from where the
okay.
engagement is beginning.
So Ort would
It just
also
won't
be
have the grid.
Ort would also be getting the +3, and that if it matters.
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
Gotcha. Okay.
how far are the bearded
so
devils away?
160 feet.
Got it.
feel like that's going to matter in a moment. But so I'm approximately 30 feet away from the lead one, so I should be able to.
Yeah. We will
Especially with a bit-
round to whole numbers here. Whole 5 numbers.
Okay, so I should be able to get in, get out type thing, especially since I don't need to disengage. Jack, I'm remembering the rules correctly, right? Because since I don't need to disengage because of swashbuckler ability.
The thing that you hit, you don't have to disengage to get away from. So as long as you're only within range of the thing you attack. Also,
So
you don't
as
need
long
to
as
hit it.
Right, because I've disengaged it. So as long as if I move into something's range, attack it,
Yeah,
and then
you can just
move back
away.
out. Okay,
Yeah, as long as there's nothing else that you're also moving out of range.
gotcha. All right, totally understood. All right, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you were fighting with 2 weapons and you attacked 2 things, then both those things you could move away from. But Alveron uses 1.
Well,
All right.
until the next advance, we'll see.
It's true.
It's either going to be mobile or dual weapon. I'm not sure which.
Uba, I think we're all good. It is your turn.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna do double javelins, and I think I'll just like roll attack and damage and then attack and damage since it's not letting me do attack and damage in one roll. So here's the first one. Oh, here's the second one.
Woof.
That one hits.
Okay, and as I get a D8 from Colossus Slayer.
Hunter's Mark? Do you want to cast Hunter's Mark? You don't have to, but if you want to.
I always forget. Yes, Hunter's Mark on the one in the front. All of these attacks are towards the one in the front, which is already hurt. So here is Colossus Slayer and then Hunter's Mark. I always forget if Hunter's Mark is a D6.
Would we know if the one weakening thing is going to affect their fire breath at all?
You don't. The lead hellhound dies. That Uba's javelin. It's been shot many times by all of you. Uba's javelin takes it in the shoulder as it kind of slides to a stop right around here, dead.
Nice. Uba is gonna turn to Kojin or like kind of look at them, back at them, and say, "Don't you do anything," and then their turn is over.
It licks its eyeball. Or she licks her eyeball.
Oh, I don't know if you adjusted initiative, but I should be at 19 instead.
Oh, no, I did not do that. Well, I was doing
Oh, sorry, 18, not 19.
clarifications.
You said it was plus what to initiative?
+3.
Oh, okay.
And then
yeah.
Ort is also getting that, so they're at 20.
Will and Sulveran just move up in the same order.
Pretty much. But it might be better if the bearded devils come in.
It's true.
Yeah.
So yeah, we should both.
Does
be
the
at 12.
angel? Does the angel receive that? Because
Yeah, but I mean, they're already going second, so.
yeah, no, that's totally fine. I'm just asking because I know I receive it. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, they're close enough. I'll let.
It's totally good if so. It doesn't throw me off. I just wanted to make sure.
It's a good point because oh no, Uva would still go first. They crit and they have higher base decks.
Yeah.
And are also getting +3 that you didn't put in.
Yeah, I think I'm okay without that though.
I'll put
Yeah.
27. There you go. How's that for you? Sorry. Okay. The Chain Angel does not have any stuff. I guess they'll just move up to kind of a little bit in front of Uba and ready an attack for when a Hellhound gets close. Yeah. They don't want to go into the fray unless they need to. They're so wounded. Alveron. This thing you're
All right. Checking distances.
That one is a little bit
Right.
further away.
Yeah, to the one I'm looking at, like Maine. That's right on if we're rounding to the nearest 5, that's right on 40.
Yeah.
So I would need to use my Misty Step ability to increase my range, which I think is fair. So I will use that Misty Step ability, and I should be able to move up.
And so, for the audience sake, we have changed. Alveron has Misty Step from Fey Touch to the feet. Because it does not particularly benefit them, their current build, because of all the rogue swashbuckler stuff. We've changed it. They can use it as a free action, and it boosts their base movement by 15. So Alveron is kind of like doing a bunch of small warps to gain extra movement.
Yep. So I will move up. This is with Rapier. I will cast Hex on the creature, but I will make the attack first so we know if Hex actually affects them. Just because of the way this works. I don't believe I have advantage on the attack, but I do still have sneak attack. So I will make the Rapier attack now. Ooh! I don't think that hits.
++.
Plus D4.
We will see.
Nice bless.
Let's check plus. Not quite enough.
Probably not.
Alveron darts in, kind of lunging with their rapier, but missing the Hellhound as it kind of steps off to the side.
Gotcha. With that, I will use my bonus action to dash back and dash back beyond normal engagement and be ready for the next round that uses... Yep. All right. Totally good.
You can't because you hexed.
Oh,
Yeah,
very
you
fair.
did movement, action, bonus action.
Nope, totally fair. You're totally right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm right there.
We'll just got through with this.
There's a point in Will's head where it's like, because I didn't directly say it to Alveron. That's my fault.
No, that's my fault for not remembering entire correctly.
Yeah.
Will is innocent on that one. That's me.
Will always think it's her fault. It's fine.
Well, that's because they're the captain. It's fine.
Yeah.
Sulveran is now watching Medea very closely to see if they also run out into.
Fort is going to.
Oh, charges forward. It's fine if everyone runs. The problem is
Fort's going
when
to
one
move
person.
Wait.
Or
Well,
can't
just to
get
be
there,
clear,
that
I
is.
should be able to still move within the. So I didn't move the full 45, so I should be able to still disengage back up to about 10 feet
Oh, yes, that's
without
true.
provoking an attack of
Yeah, so
opportunity.
you can move back a little bit.
Right to about
There's
here. So I will do so right to about there, but that's it.
okay. It's gonna move up about here. Uh, Look on spells. Okay, he'll cast a spiritual weapon. Being for 5 points damage.
We're not rolling great on damage tonight.
And then he will do
Our
Sacred
penance for
Flame,
last game.
This is true.
since spiritual weapon is possible. Dex save. It's a fail.
Nice.
So Ort summons up this spiritual large smith's hammer, which whacks the hellhound in the side, and then summons a sacred flame with their main action, casting it down on the creature, dealing some radiant. That's his turn. And yeah.
Hate when Ort tells us it's our initiative.
Yeah, Vidia's going to take a quick moment to, with their wings, almost slide this direction. Let me see. It's so hard for me to like navigate without grid squares.
Yeah, I could. I should have added squares to this map.
Okay, I think I can reach about there, right?
I'll do that next time. I think we will use the home map again for this reason eventually.
Then Vidia's going to pull out one spear, javelin of lightning, and hurl one, and then a second one. So the first one is going to make 2 dex saves, and then I'm going to make 2 regular attacks against the other one. I'm just gonna I only rolled right, and then it's an extra d4. Yeah. So it's an 18 total.
Okay, that hits.
And that's 24 damage to the back one, plus 7, so 31 points because of the radiant. And then a second one.
So the front one just takes 10, right?
The front one takes 24 damage. Sorry, 31 plus 16.
How much does the back one take?
No, fuck. Sorry, yeah. The back one is taking all of this. The front one is going to make 2 dex saves, DC 12, to take half each of the lightning damage only. The back one doesn't get to make a dex save, it just takes everything in full. Yeah, so it's going to be 16. Do both hit. It's an 18 and a 19.
Yeah, they have 15 AC.
Okay. And then for my free action, I will draw my spear. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, DC 13 dex save. The front one makes 2 of those.
Okay. No. The front one makes 1 dex save. They both make 1 dex save. So I think maybe I'm reading this wrong, but the way that I understand it is that they both make dex saves against the lightning. Only the front one is actually hit with the javelin.
So it says you transform into a bolt of lightning, and you pick a target within 120 feet, and you
Right.
form a line between you and the target. And each target in the line makes the dex save against the lightning damage.
Right.
They take half against it. And then on a hit, the target that you actually aim for with the javelin just takes the lightning and javelin damage. They don't make a save. And I'm aiming both javelins at the back one, so the front one is taking 2 separate lines of lightning, basically.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, I thought you were hitting the front one.
No, I'm aiming for the back one.
Sorry. I hate the way these javelins work. I regret giving it to you. Okay. Okay, both successes.
Yeah, so it's going to take half of 10 and then half of 14.
No. The front one does not take the javelin damage. Only the target that you're aiming at takes the javelin damage, always.
Okay. I was talking about the lightning damage from the dex save.
Right, but
it takes half.
It's the 14.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, you got it right.
Yeah. It's rolling twice, but it really shouldn't be. So it should. We're just looking at the first one.
Okay.
It's just because of the way that the thing is inputted, it's rolling at multiple.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So the back one just takes full damage.
Okay. I will fix these later on so that they're less confusing in the outlines.
Finicky.
But yeah, it's still Wait, sorry. Save or suck? No, save for half. Yes, okay. So it's still taking that.
I've been saving these for when I just needed a combat to end very quickly.
Okay. The back one is dead. It takes everything.
Yeah. It just gets hit like a truck.
Actually, no, it's barely still standing.
Did you account for the +7 from the Radiant Soul?
Oh, no, that's on top of everything?
Yeah, it's on top.
Yes, that one dies.
Yeah.
This one's going to go straight from Medea.
Mm-hmm.
Just got rocked by you.
And then it's going to take an opportunity attack from the spear because of Polar Master. 13 points of damage.
Still up. Fight at disadvantage. Actually, no, it will breath weapon you.
Dex save?
Yeah.
Okay.
You may have advantage on the dex save.
Okay. And then add the +3. That's a 10, so I still don't make it.
Okay.
And bless.
So it's going to be, yep. And then my concentration save for the
do roll bless as well.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So you need
11
2.
total.
No, not quite enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
let me make my
DC 10.
Yeah.
That's going to be that Hellhound's turn. Then we are down to Will.
I told the dead that one.
Okay. That's a wisdom save?
Yeah. This is going to output the wrong DC, just so you know. And also, that didn't roll D12. It's
DC is what, 14?
15.
15.
Jesus.
Still fails.
This is the damage, not the 12.
D12.
Because it's D12s.
Okay, it dies.
Yeah,
what does the Toll the Dead look like? This is
so
the first time you've cast
Will's Toll the Dead is like the big Gathite symbol, but the sound is like originating inside the skull. of that hellhound, and then it just booms outwards.
Boom.
And it's really like low, and it's got like 4 different tones, and they're all slightly discordant. It's not a nice sound.
Nice. Under the weight of this
I'll,
sound, the creature collapses.
Then I'll move forward to make this hellhound target me, I guess.
Okay, Sulveran.
Sulveran watches Will do that and just kind of nods slightly. And is this audible only in their heads, or is it audible out loud?
It's like out loud. You can hear it.
All right. Yeah. So as that fading note hits, he pipes through his ocarina, which is in comparison very high and shrill and sounds a little bit like you know how a mouse sounds when it's getting up by an owl at night? It's that sound. And same thing, tolling the dead, if I can get it to roll. And that one's injured, right?
No, this one has not been hit by anything.
Oh. Interesting. For some reason, I thought that one had been hit.
The only one.
Alright. Well, if it's not been hit, then there's no advantage to toll the dead, so I never said anything.
You just wanted to one-up Will's Toll the Dead.
No, I just wanted to give a nod to it, but there's no sense in that now. So instead, it is the usual Sacred Flame bird that I do not need to describe. Then that's a DC 16.
No. It takes 10 points of damage as these carrion birds land into it. Then it's going to be... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so at what angle are the bearded dragons? The bearded devils approaching from?
South, the same direction that the hellhounds approach from.
Okay. Yeah. So Sulveran's just gonna hold steady.
Yeah, after this one goes, basically at the top, their initiative is somewhere in here. They will be 100 feet away. They're moving. Movement
right.
Dash. Colin's going to go. It's going to, since Will is right there, up in its face. Breath weapon attack you. You also have advantage on.
Is this a spell-like feature?
No, it is a natural effect of the creature's physiology.
One day. So I take 9?
Correct. As it just leaps up to you and... At the end of the initiative, again, the beer devils are full sprinting at you. They're now 100 feet away. Still not close enough to be on the map or really enter into the initiative. But it is Uba's turn first. There is one remaining. If you can kill this quickly, you might be able to run away before the bear devils get to you.
Yeah, I'll try.
Or at least set up again for another.
I'm a little too short and slow to fully reach it and use my dagger, so I'm gonna put Hunter's Mark on that one, and then I guess I'll do one of the javelins again, or actually I'll do them both for both of my attacks. So, now it's doing damage. Okay.
Roll a d4. Well,
a d4.
It will hit with bless, but roll a d4.
Yeah.
Just
Man, bless has been doing fucking work.
Yeah, it's a good
round.
bless.
Yeah. Okay, so there's one that hits, and then here comes the second one.
I should just drop bless every
Don't forget about Kojin's reaction thing.
Yeah, I was just gonna use that. So on the second javelin throw, Kojin's gonna hit Uba on the back of the shoulder with their paw and give them a d6 of thunder. That's a 5.
All right.
So
and you
all
are
of this
now,
damage
out of javelins as well.
Yeah, that was fine. And then it had been hurt before, right? So I can do Colossus Slayer.
Yes, you may.
Okay, Colossus Slayer plus Hunter's Mark, and then also since it's a fiend, and I picked that as my new enemy, +3 for my new favorite enemy. Which
yeah. Did you roll Hunter's
is
Mark
it dead?
twice?
No. The first D6 roll was Kojin's Thunder.
Okay, roll
And,
another d6.
The Hunter's Mark is in the D6 and the D8 at the bottom.
Right, but
It's just a very
2, because you get that on both attacks.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought it's Colossus Slayer that's only once.
Correct.
Right. Okay. Woohoo.
All right, that is just enough.
Yay.
Nice.
Fuck yeah. Do we have enough time to quickly collect the javelins and projectiles?
Not if you don't want
lightning
to.
javelin went 100
Let's
feet
just
away, right?
bounce.
If you want to
think
move
Could
up
Will-
to these
wait,
things,
could Will-
spend an action
could-
doing it.
Could Will grab the 2 lightning javelins on the ground?
Don't they always go 100 feet?
No, they
stop
stick
at
in
the
the target.
creature. They stop at
Yeah.
the target. Yeah. So you could grab the lightning javelins and move if you want.
I could get them. I suppose I should. Yeah, so what's happening? We're out of initiative now? Or because whose turn is it?
Yeah, if you guys are running, we're going to exit initiative. Because then we'll go into a chase scene, since you are equally as fast as these spirit devils, the slowest of you.
I'm down to bounce. Can I don't know if this would help, but if I cast Pass Without a Trace while running away, would that help us?
It'll help you if you can get to a position where you can make a stealth check. It won't let you run faster, but
Okay. I'll cast it just to
Question.
be safe.
yes.
Uba, could you and I, and Andrew, feel free to nix, but is there a way that Uba could pass without trace with the main party? I'm the only other person with a high enough stealth, I think. Could I attempt to use my knowledge of stealth along with deception and try to create a false trail? Particularly using any of the blood spilled recently, or maybe one of the weapons left behind.
You could. You're not, again, currently you're not in a position where you can make a stealth check. If you want to run and then do that, as a plan to kind of ensure that the bulk of the group gets away, yeah, that's totally a thing you could do. But at the moment, the option is stay or run.
Gotcha. Okay,
they're staring
then
at you. They know where you are.
No, totally understood. All right, so but we have the ability to make like a false trail.
If you want to separate yourself from the group and do that, yeah, you totally do that.
All right.
So they're 100 feet away from Will, roughly.
Correct.
All right, sure. Will picks up the 2 javelins and just turns and says, "Well, we should be running now," and starts running in the other
So
direction.
It
Will
will
begins
also
to
start
bucket.
running.
I think with Pass Without a Trace, isn't it a 30-foot radius around Uba? Or
It
is it
is.
just a 30 feet? Okay. I think it would be good to have regardless, so I'm gonna cast it, but
If you do take a moment to cast it, you will be slowed slightly.
how slight is slightly?
I mean, a full increment of movement.
How fast are the bearded devils moving?
Can Uba be carried while they cast that spell?
Could
Yeah.
I?
Could I fucking just...
Could I be on
scoop Uba?
Alveron's shoulder, just
Sure.
like casting magic? Okay, yeah, I want to do that.
Alveron picks Uba up as Uba begins to cast Path Without a Trace.
Okay.
I'm gonna take
Fucking
us out
mashed
of combat.
potatoes.
Everyone else, I think, gets the picture and begins to move with you all. That's actually good, because I think Uba, I'm remembering now, is slightly slower than the bearded devils.
Yeah, I'm only 25.
Or
feet.
thankfully is not.
Oh, 100% then just Uba, like, right. So, for the sake of your own dignity, you can choose, but, like, Alveron does not think about your dignity and just kind of has you, like, toddler style, like, legs over shoulders right now. But there is like a knapsack on the back that you can like grab onto the knapsack if you would prefer. But just as you're put up there, Alveron's not thinking about that, and it's just full sack of potatoes style.
I think Uba's not happy about it, but is in the toddler position because they recognize they don't really have time to be picky. So they just look incredibly pissed off while they're casting the spell.
Kojin is
when you pick up a
scurrying
cat
along.
by the scruff?
Huh?
Kojin
Yeah,
is
I guess
scurrying
sure, Uba
alongside
has a
you,
scruff.
annoyed that Alveron is moving more slowly than they would on their own. So everybody is running.
Wow, can't please everybody.
Where would you like to run to? There is the bridge to the north. Clusters of buildings to either side. You could break for the sewer. I'm going to say, Will, you kind of said that you were moving first. What's the direction that you immediately head in?
Lose them in the buildings.
Buildings, all right. Will kind of takes a northwestern direction, heading towards the buildings, kind of near one of the buildings where you guys hid in when you kind of initially came up out of the sewers. Dashing in. Everybody is moving that way. The bearded devils are still about 100 feet behind you, but moving in. You guys get into the buildings, moving your way across the streets. At this point, if you would like to, you can all make a stealth check. Alveron, if you want to try to lead them away, you can do that as well.
Medea.
I'm just going to tell you that is going to be a harder stealth check than just being avoided to kind of lead them off of the main group's trail, as well as stealthing yourself.
Do you want Uba to come with you? Because Uba with their cloak has advantage on stealth.
I would rather that the main benefits stay with the group for like stealth checks and everything.
Okay. Yeah.
But what I'm more getting at is making a false trail. And like we're going off one way, but throw evidence of us going off down another path. Is it worth Medea? Would it be okay to sacrifice one of the javelins to throw down like a false trail and use my deception with that to try to make a false trail for the enemy? Is that worth it, or is that not something you want to give up?
I have 3, so you can take one of them.
One of them. Andrew, if we sacrifice one of the javelins and like make a false trail, would that give any sort of advantage?
I'm kind of saying that's going to let you do this. You're having to use something to make a trail.
Do you need specifically a lightning javelin? Because I also have I never gave Uba my quote unquote fine javelins. The ones we got from the blacksmith.
Just whatever you're willing to give up. Alveron goes to Medea and it's like, one of your javelins, quick! I can make it seem like we went down one of these side alleyways.
Yeah.
And go ahead. Sorry.
If you give up a javelin, the DC will be a little bit easier. It's not quite enough to grant you a full advantage, but the check will be a little bit easier.
Could I?
Okay. I'll throw you a javelin. Yeah, take a javelin. You can have one of my normal ones. Or quote unquote masterwork javelins is what I think we call them. Fine javelins.
Yeah. Then Andrew, do you want deception or stealth for how to do this?
Yeah, I'll let you choose. I feel like it could go either way.
If it's stealth, Uba could give you advantage, I think, right?
Yes. If Uba is going with and helping. Yeah, that's true.
Oh, I would not be going with you, so never mind.
Oh, yeah, then.
Okay. In that case, the modifiers are equal. So, but then we will go with dealer's choice. Whichever one I choose is going to be the wrong one, just knowing how I roll when I'm not GMing. Actually, that's a good point. Mars, you choose stealth or deception.
trying to piggyback on their luck.
Stealth, because you're with us right now, so I think would pass without a trace help on a stealth check since Alveron's right there.
Okay.
It
Well,
wouldn't,
I have no idea if it'll
because
help or not, but
I'll tell you, it wouldn't, because it's not just about the individual moment. It's, this is happening over a period of time, and the bulk of that time you're not going to be within the boundaries.
So the way I'll flavor it then is I look around really quickly, and there's like a tight alleyway that's coming off of us, and I will take this the javelin and jam it into the alleyway as if it got stuck from one of our backpacks, like slung across, and the tip broke off, and it got left behind because there wasn't enough time to bring it with us. But the angle of it looks right. We went down this way, it was stuck like slung normal style and got left behind, and we just continued running down this more tight alleyway. What would you like?
I think that's more of a deception check, as you've just framed it. Personally.
Yeah,
Alright.
and also, are you staying with us then once you break the spear off?
Yes, I'm staying with you. So, we'll continue to stealth after this, but I'm deceptively making the false roll.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
I misunderstood that. I thought you were doing this and also going off in a separate direction.
I did.
Andrew, if you need me to, I will go off and make the false trail on my own.
That would make the DC easier. I think what you're attempting to do is harder.
All right. Well, then I will go off and I will make the false trail. What will you need me to do after I make the false trail? That's my only question.
We're gonna cut to break after you make this. You all do stealth checks, so I'm gonna have to think about it a little bit. See what happens.
All right. Just for everyone watching, we'll be back right after this fuck up. Right along the bottom of the trailer. But
maybe this goes terribly, and I don't have to think about it.
Yeah. All right, so there's a deception, no advantage for the broken spear.
You still have your
path,
inspiration,
right?
Yes.
What was that, Sarah?
Do you still have your inspiration?
We all use our inspiration, and we don't want to talk.
Alveron got a second instance, so they do have inspiration.
Fancy.
All right. Okay. Well, do I need to choose to use inspiration now, or can I use it after the fact?
Use it after the roll.
Okay, we're making a deception. Okay. So I make the broken spear path. Do you recommend, Andrew, that I use that inspiration, or
let's have the group also make their stealth check, because they still also have to stealth away successfully.
That is fair.
Because if they do a terrible job, then the demons are split up.
Medea, the way I'll do it is I'll reach out to you for a spear and be like, I can make a false trail. Give me this. It'll be all right. And I'll look down the kind of the tight path.
Mm-hmm.
Up to you. How do you react? I mean, I know we've decided how this goes, but
Medea literally just grabs the spear, slaps Alveron on the back, and pushes them away.
All right, awesome. I think that I keep going down, and then Andrew, I literally hold the spear as it like behind me slightly, as if it was being carried in the proper form, and it breaks behind me. I keep going, and then we'll go from there.
Kella did fucking terrible.
Kella did roll particularly poorly. You can, if your check is good enough, you can like override their bad rolls, Alveron. If you would like to use their inspiration, I'm not saying you should or shouldn't. I'm just telling you now.
You're saying I can give my inspiration to their poor roll?
You could do that as well, but I more meant if your deception check was high enough, then their stealth rolls don't matter as much.
Okay. They only have a +3 to their stealth.
I also
the plus 10.
passed without a trace, that's 14.
We have a 28, a 27, and a 22 in there.
Alveron, Sean, you're already going off into like it's not good. And so if Sulveran sees Alveron trying to do anything else for Kella, can he use his inspiration for Kella to re-roll that.
Gotcha.
Sure.
I will retain my
okay.
inspiration then.
Yeah.
Sulveran has it.
And
so in that case, Sulveran is going to. How exactly did Kella?
I was
What-
gonna
what exactly-
say, I think Kella, when they realize what's going on, is going to reflexively kind of say, like, yell, like, Alveron, no, don't go.
Yeah,
Aw.
Sulveran is just going to like immediately snap a hand over her mouth, not waiting for Will. He just tosses Kella. That'd be funny. He tosses Kella onto his shoulder, and he's got her not gagged, but he is keeping her quiet.
Okay.
Probably
Um,
equally easy.
if Jesus, I don't know. Oh.
Okay.
What?
I'll
So
let
I
it
assume
stand. I'll let it stand.
what happened
Okay.
is that Keller got like the start of a squeaker, and Sullivan's just like, nope.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happened there.
Yep.
So with that, we're gonna cut to break and see where we're at the when we come back. All right.
Okay.
See you.
Ooh.
Sara's here.
In the back.
Sara's here.
It's okay.
All right, we're back. Hello, everybody. So you guys have Alveron has just split off from the main party, kind of lodging, even slightly breaking this javelin. Everybody else kind of turned down one alley when Alveron went down another alley. You guys are kind of twisting along. You slow down a little bit once you kind of get in a position where you know the bearded devils aren't like right behind you. So you're more worried about making noise and all that than just getting the fuck away. You still moving quickly, but you slow down a little bit and are kind of making your way crisscrossing along through streets, etc. Alveron, meanwhile, the bearded devils do follow your trail. At this point, I'm going to have you make a stealth check to see if you can evade them on your own.
Okay.
Because they are heading in your direction, so they're still following you.
All right. And this is already after I've made the deception roll to have them follow me. So this is
Yes.
just, can I avoid them on my trail?
Right.
Whew.
No problem. You continue on this path for a little bit, moving along. Double back a little bit, like taking a corner, circling back a little bit, trying to throw them off. Dip into a building and kind of wait. They seem to march on by, and eventually you notice them. They seem to be slowing down, fanning out to look for you, knowing that they've lost the chase, that you guys have eluded their grasp for now and are probably hiding somewhere. You manage to dip out of that area, so you're kind of making your way by yourself through this these housing quarters. It's not just houses, there's also shops and everything. You're just making your way through these various city streets. Most of these streets are a bit smaller, as you headed away from the big courtyard. You are fairly close to the shores of the oasis at all times, because you kind of moved off in that direction. Meanwhile, the others, you have gone in a completely different direction, so the bearded devils are not really anywhere near you, even once they start fanning out. However, there might be more here and there, but you have a bit of calm as you're making your way through the city.
Are we going to head back to the house we've been hiding in, or should we find somewhere else?
I don't think we should go back to the house or the sewers. The houses are quite long way away from us now, and we know that there were heavier patrols around there recently.
Where's your suggestion? They mean it genuinely.
I think we should head towards somewhere that we can prepare to go into the palace.
I know you said not the sewers, but do we know if the waterworks area would necessarily be toxic?
I don't. Out of character, is there any way for us to know where is like
Which part of the sewers are
poisonous
safe?
or not? Yeah.
Not really. Not without magical aid. You know that where you walked in, like where you entered during the library and where you were sleeping, was not poisonous. Or at least you didn't feel the effects. But when you were moving through the sewer, getting closer to the tower, that's when you started to feel the poison effects. So it doesn't seem like it's the whole sewer, but you have no way of knowing which parts are and aren't at the moment, unless somebody has some spells that I'm not aware of.
We can head towards the main bridge into the palace. That was the main bridge into the palace at the tower, right?
No, that bridge just moved.
That's a separate bridge.
Yeah, that just moved from one section of the city to another across a channel. The intact bridge isn't too far from you. You would have to, make your way through a bit of the city, but you could get to it.
You said what buildings are near the lake that sort of like the palace is in the center of?
All kinds of buildings.
Like the major ones we know of. Like you said, the bath.
First.
Yeah, the tower. Yeah. And did you say the the bathhouses were as well?
The bathhouses are quite close to the intact bridge. The
Okay.
tower is, as close as the closest of the large buildings to the palace. None of the locations are particularly close to the palace. All of the bridges span about 250, more like 300 feet or so to the palace.
No matter what, to get to the palace,
Maybe
we
a
have to
little
go
bit
down a long bridge, right?
Unless
Unless there's an underwater, like an underground path that
you could swim. The
Path
sewers
on that.
do go to the palace. There are paths to the palace and sewers.
I think Will says to Uber, "Well, Uber, why don't you find us a path on the maps to the closest sewer entrance to the bridge? And then maybe we can go into the sewers, find somewhere to rest, and then make our way underground to the palace."
Uba nods, but then looks at Sulveran and says, do you think he'll be okay in the sewers? That poison did a number on a lot of us last time.
It's not ideal, but if we have a moment to rest, he looks over at Kella, who he finally realizes he's still like footballing, and he just like gently sets Kella down. Idly is like straightening out her clothing as he looks at Uba and he says, this one still has a couple of doses of ointment. If we have the time to rest, he nods over at Medea and gestures at himself and Urt. We should be able to do a little bit of something about any injuries we incur.
Okay. What should I roll to check the map? Or do I have to roll?
You just look at it while you guys are kind of paused, or will ask cure ones on Sulveran because he's got good.
Medea will say, "How do we plan to meet back up with Alveron? Do we just wait for him?"
So my understanding was when we left, my idea was to loop a false trail and then come right back to you. So if you were going along a predictable route, I should make a false trail and loop right back to you. If it needs to be more complicated after that, we can do so. But it was kind of like, we're going this way. I make a false trail over here and then loop back to you.
I guess it does make
Yeah.
sense because I feel like if we're trying to lose them, we would have had to try and be like zigzagging and take an unusual
I
route.
think it's...
Also, you don't know where we're going. Is the other problem?
Yeah, I
We
think
know
that's
for a fact the next destination.
That's optimistic. That's an optimistic plan.
Like it also just feels like it would be like then there's no consequence to the like benefit of splitting off.
In character, Will kind of just looks at Medea and gives a little shrug and like is a little bit like that. You can see like it doesn't happen that often that Will is like heavily processing stuff, but like you can see that just behind her eyes, she's moving her eyes a lot more and she's trying to think of like all of these different possibilities about stuff and doesn't really have an answer for you. But we need to get somewhere safe before we can think about
That's true.
anything else.
I mean, do you have a list of preference?
Hurt, for God's sake. But yeah, I think Will's preference is to go find a sewer entrance near the bridge, and then if we can find a place to rest there, it sets us up for like what we're going to do probably tomorrow.
That's also Medea's preference as well. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sulveran, that 9 HP is for you.
Okay. Yeah, Sulveran looks over at Ort with surprise and just kind of like stretches out, looking a lot better. He's still close to bloodied, but on the other side of it now.
Medea's going to look to Uba and say, do you have a way you could leave a message or marking near the sewer that only Alveron would be able to tell what it means?
Uba thinks about it and says, I could certainly try.
Alveron would have to find that exact one sewer entrance of all the sewer entrances in the city.
My understanding is that you guys are going to travel overland to the nearest sewer entrance, then go down.
No, to the sewer entrance. To the sewer entrance that's closest.
The nearest
to the bridge.
to the. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to get poisoned.
Okay. So you guys begin making your way that way. Alveron, you can make a survival check. You loop back and head to where you last saw them and try to see if you can find them.
So you're saying the survival check is to find the rest of the party?
Yes.
I can make a mark, like, once we get to the sewer entrance. If we go down before Alveron, I can make, like, a mark on the outside. And I guess Will could cast Sending with that.
Right.
Yeah. Like, hey, look for this mark of a bird on the sewer grate.
Yeah, if you cast Sending, that makes this whole thing easier. But it's my understanding that at this time you're not casting Sending.
No, in case something happens and I need to dispel magic or something.
So at the moment, Alveron has no way of knowing where you guys are heading. In the scramble to escape, like, the party had to move quite a bit away. Alveron, you've had to move, zigzagging here and there. So you're kind of trying to navigate back to where you were and then also find them.
Gotcha. In that case, so for me, it's I've broken off. I will go along the path of kind of the normal travel and try to come back. So I guess that's the survival roll to try to kind of pick up the trail of the rest of the party.
They leave very little tracks or anything like that. You are near to where they were, although you don't know how far they went in their kind of initial mad dash just to get away. You are unable to pick up on their trail.
Gotcha. So, and then Alveron will continue just kind of picking it up as best he can, but moving along whatever makes the most sense trail-wise, trying to figure out where they have gone after he has left kind of the demons in his wake.
Okay. The rest of you begin to make your way heading north. You're kind of having to go around because the waste is very circular, up around. While still keeping the same stealth check. So you're making your way. You do notice that there is, even once you leave the area of the tower, there is more patrols. You pass by more hellhounds, more bearded devils. You can see, as you look up in the air, a couple of rocks circling around on watch, trying to figure out who's coming into the city, attacking, who's activated this tower. So security is increasing at this time. But thanks to Pass Without a Trace, you are able to get, you're kind of out in front of the baths. There's the baths form basically a line with the bridge and the palace. So the baths are here, the bridge is here, they're there. So, and there's lots of sewer entrances near to the baths because there's so much water running into there. You can see the bath houses because it's like a big complex off in the distance. And you all pop open a sewer grate, waiting until nobody around, and enter in. This whole process takes about an hour. So by the time you get there, Pass Without a Trace is just wearing off. You've been moving for quite a bit. Alveron, You have been looking about, trying to pick up a trail. After about 10 minutes, it seems clear that you're not going to be able to find them in this area quickly. And you know, like the others, you can see the extra security going around the rocks circling up in the air. Once it seems like you're not going to be able to find them easily, what would you do?
If I can't find everyone and if I can't pick up their trail, best thing I think would be to stealth in and try to hide myself away. So
Alveron,
try to hide myself, and then I do know that there is some sort of divination or some sort of magical way of communicating. I would wait for that and then just kind of tuck myself into the nearest spot to hide myself away.
you hide out, waiting, trying to make yourself scarce, hoping that the bear devils don't look in the wrong spot. And your stealth is high enough that you're able to do this pretty effectively. Certainly, by the time an hour has passed, you aren't spotted. Once you guys, the other group, once you guys start to rest, actually, Art will ask, do we want to heal up or before we start resting? I still have spell slots.
I think it would be good,
Um,
just in case.
I'll use my weakest ones first. I'm not that wounded, so I will.
Do I know about prayer of healing?
yes.
I was gonna say prayer of healing.
I don't have it prepared. I
Sulveran
prepared
is going to.
combat spells.
I do have a prayer of healing in me, I believe, and he's going to look to Will. He's waiting. Well, actually, maybe she. How loud is Will's song of breath? That something we're gonna avoid.
Yeah, we haven't started resting yet.
Okay.
So,
So, yeah.
You guys are down in
what-
the sewers now. It's
Did we find another room that we could like?
yeah. There's lots
make
of
into a
maintenance
camp?
rooms, so
How large is this room that we find? Can we? What kind of room
not
options do we
not
have?
big. It's like 20 by 20 at most. These are storage maintenance rooms. They're not meant to be like slept in.
Go ahead. You were gonna say something. I didn't want to over.
I think Will, once we've like decided that there's like we're not being inflicted with like this awful miasma, Will says to Uber, go back and mark the entrance to the sewer with I don't know, like a circle with an X through it.
Uba nods and heads out to do that. They're also going to put some waves around the circle to really hit things home. They're like, Alveron likes the ocean. I'll put some waves here.
You doing this with like
Love
a
it.
knife?
Yeah, I'll use
we both
the
have tinker's
emerald
tools,
dagger.
right?
Okay. Make a stealth check because this is gonna take some time. You have to, be in a bit more visible position. Okay.
Right.
You Uba makes their way up back to where the grate is because this is like a metal grate, and they begin to come up, lower it close, very quickly, looking about, start to carve in the circle, the waves X, and then very quickly slip back in, as quickly as they exit.
All right. Once Uber's back down, we'll cast sending to Alveron. Was there anything that I noticed as we were like coming up to this particular thing that I could use as like a defining marker to explain to Alveron where this grate is? Because Alveron doesn't have maps or anything. I'm happy to make a roll to see.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of what. I think probably perception check to have noticed something particularly notable, and also describe it accurately. I can't think of anything better.
Don't worry, I'm very perceptive right now.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, so you kind of you remember seeing a particular mosaic on the side of one of the buildings. It was pretty faded, but still noticeable to you. And so you describe it. It's kind of meant to, again, pretty faded, but it seemed to be a depiction of like a forest setting.
Yeah, so Will says, 25 words is actually important for this one. So,
Yes, it is.
Hidden in sewers, near bridge to palace. Find faded forest mural, metal grate with Uber's symbol of an X on end sentence. I think that was 20, but it might have been 25. I lost count of how many times I'd gone around my hand. But that's the end of that sentence.
I was trusting you to count, so it seems about right.
Yeah. It was either 20 or 25, and I think it was
25. I counted 21, so totally. Yeah.
somewhere up there. You can respond with 25 words if you like.
Andrew.
Yes.
It's a weird first word, but
Exactly what I was thinking. Only like it wasn't in a joke fashion. My brain was like, "Who's Alveron talking to?"
Yes.
Andrew, I haven't encountered the particular mural they're talking about, or probably the grate in general.
Now, you understand that this is in a completely different part of the city.
How completely different part of the city?
They had to walk about an hour from where you are now.
Shite. I apologize. My partner was talking to the cat, and I thought they were talking to me.
Okay.
If anyone can tell in the chat, they picked the cat up. All right. Ooh. Andrew, what would I need to do to get to where they are, or be like close enough for interaction?
I mean, Alveron, remembers, because you've seen maps, you've been here a while now, knows roughly where they're talking about. You can get to roughly that area, assuming you don't get spotted, etc. At which point, I would have you make a perception check to locate the correct spot. If they hadn't told you about it, it would probably be more like a survival check, but you know roughly where it is. You just have to see the right spot.
Okay. Gotcha. I will attempt for that then. What do you need me to do?
First, I need you to make me a new stealth check, because you're leaving your hiding spot and moving your way through the city.
Before we move on, to be clear, there was no response to Will.
Oh, yeah.
No, that is fair. Alveron would have, like, when the sending came through. All right. So let me make sure that I get this right. Moving to you now. How often do you get this spell?
Never. Almost never.
I
don't think you've ever gotten it.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever sent one to Alveron, but did you ask Will, how often do I get the spell?
No, I don't think so.
No, this was like, if we've used this as a sending in the past, That was
Yeah,
that.
You've seen Will use it quite a lot. Will has used it in front of everybody
Yeah,
quite
several
frequently, but I don't send to the party often.
Gotcha. All right, moving to you now. If we don't meet up, resend tomorrow. I will be in sewers, but moving to group now.
Oh, all right. Well, at least Will doesn't think you're dead. That's the
Yeah.
important part.
Of course.
Yes.
Not yet.
And
Well, Alveron,
if nothing else, I am in the sewers if I don't find you. But yeah.
but yeah, it's the end, and then goes,
Did Will's
there we
eyes
go.
go all blue while she's doing this? Or
Yeah,
doing it differently?
Will that's like all oceany.
Yeah, Sulveran's just sitting there watching her whenever she comes out of it.
Well, Alveron said that he'd meet up with us. He's not dead. I'm glad that worked. I thought maybe the pendant of Syl you'd given him would stop sending. But
Sulveran just deep, enormous sigh from all 8 feet of him. This was my concern also.
I'm
He
glad,
is also
I'm glad we never voice our concerns to each other, Silver.
it was too late to do anything about, and he's just gonna get up and start like pacing the room. He's actually measuring it. It looks a little bit like he's pacing. So it is, you said 20 by 20 storage space?
Yeah,
Or
something like that.
okay, that's important. Because he's gonna wait for Uba to get back, and he is going to just basically like shepherd them away from the corners so they are within a 20-foot diameter circle. And he's just like pacing, and he almost looks like he's like he's actually making the motions just kind of idly to set up a tent. And after about 11 minutes of that, because he's casting it as a ritual, Liamon's tiny hut will appear.
Nice. Okay.
And when he casts that, it has the oddly, perfectly dome-like appearance, but still appears to be hides drawn tight over a like a yurt sort of shape. Various sorts of hides, bits of leather tying it all together. And there's only like these like tiny little corners in this room. Like it fills up the entire space.
Mm-hmm.
Say it's a perfect geometrical circle inscribed upon a square.
You cast Lemon Tiny Hut, everybody feels a little bit more comfortable. And if there is any poison, you're protected against that.
Yeah. Good first use of a Liamon's tiny hut.
Does this mean that if Alveron finds us, he can't get in?
I can see it out, but he won't be able to step in. No. You
I
can sit
assume
outside the hut if you would like.
if Alveron found this, he'd just wait by us, rest here until the morning, too, at worst. Perhaps not perfect, but
Will just finds it amusing. It's like, that's
We
a
can-
funny thing to do.
We will be able to see him.
Oh yeah, how has the angel been looking, by the way? Like, do they seem like
Oh, it's fucking
they're relieved, or like just like still like they're so out of it they're just like being pulled along like a drunk at 2 a.m.?
They're, now that you're resting, they're starting to come to a bit, but in the whole running away, everything, they were just kind of following you like like a wounded, like a stray dog might. Like
Mhm.
they haven't really been in control of their actions for such a long time that I don't think they're really used to having that level of like free will.
Mm-hmm.
So they've just been following. They've been pretty silent since then, and are like, they do now that everything has like gone on to have a bit of like an 1,000-yard, like still out of it, haven't fully recovered. All right, Alveron, you begin to make your way to where you understood that they are. So I did message you something. I don't know if you saw it.
I did, yes.
Okay.
For operating within the city, there's probably a particular guise under which I would move with a lot less suspicion, right?
Yes.
Okay. In that case, so Alveron kind of disguises themselves with the hat of disguise as a bearded devil, and moving with spear through the city, but absolutely not making a spectacle of themselves.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a deception check. This is going to be much easier than if you had tried to stealth.
Okay. Ooh. Would I be able to move myself as a hellhound? Would that work with the hat of deception?
The disguise self spell stipulates that you can't change your like body shape.
Gotcha.
So you couldn't appear as a four-legged animal. And
Okay,
even if you
no problem.
could, you would have to be walking on all fours yourself.
That's fair. All right, so normal deception check, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe. All right. You pass by other bearded devils. You still kind of, try to keep out of the way a little bit, but you're moving more openly. You pass by other bearded devils. You try to look like you're searching around, so they don't really bother you. And you have a bit more free reign now that you're alone. Like with everybody else here, you couldn't have done this, but since you're alone, you are able to make your way with relative ease. You do, because you're not trying to hide as much, you do spot maybe, again, this takes like an hour, another 24 or so bearded devils. You don't know if some of them might be the ones that you saw previously, if these are all new ones, but just, there's still quite a lot of demons in the city, you think, as well as, some hellhounds, etc. But you get to roughly the area where that Will had described. Go ahead and make me a perception check. Okay, just enough. You are looking about.
18.
It takes you a second. 18. You spot the mural that Will spoke of, or at least what you think is the correct mural. You see the the green tiles now very faded in this mosaic for the trees. The ocean beyond that. Looking down, you see a metal grate, a circle crossed with an X with waves around it.
Looking around, if it's safe. Well, okay. Well, while dropping below, like going through the grate, I definitely want to drop the illusion that I am a bearded devil,
Mm-hmm.
or perhaps, ooh. Well, I need to follow it along. So looking around, do I see any evidence that I'm being followed at the moment?
And glance back. I'll just keep the 18. No, you don't see people actively following you. You look up. There are still the rocks circling, but you don't think they're looking at you at the moment.
Okay, then, as I dip below the railing and kind of slip below the grates, as I fall down, I will revert back to form.
Alveron climbing down, reverting back to form. Out beyond the dome, the rest of you, because you're moving the grate is a little bit loud. You hear the grate, and the sounds of somebody climbing down the steel ladder. Peeking out of the room that you're in, you all see Alveron hit the brickwork.
How long has this been? Like more than an hour, right?
You guys have been resting now for, over an hour.
Okay.
Just over an hour.
Alveron kind of like hits the deck, and then you can see them as they hit. They kind of wince a bit on the one bandaged leg that they have. There's a little bit of blood starting to come through the bandage, but then stand up, dust themselves off a bit, and then as they doff the cap again, the bandage turns totally like clear and starts to blend in again with their clothing. So So if you would have noticed, they are using the head of disguise to kind of disguise how injured they are, because they don't want you to worry.
Ah, yeah.
But-
Hide from your healers that you are hurt.
But otherwise, it's
Also,
just,
you can't see us, right?
say
No,
again?
you can't see us at all. It just
Yeah,
looks
you
like a
can't see
very
us.
Gathite tent in the sewer.
I don't know enough to say so, but after they land, they're like, all right, well, I'm okay, and I don't want anyone to worry about me. So, whoop.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
somebody
it's
meanwhile
reasonable.
watching you.
Alveron knows that you're close, in theory.
Hopefully you're
Yeah.
close.
So if somebody leaves this tent, they can't come back into it, right?
No, you can pass freely in and out as long as Sulveran stays inside.
All right. Well, Will walk out.
Alveron.
Oh,
or
shit.
Will kind of in space from outside this opaque dome.
I'll go with literally was just fixing the cap and fixing it so their injured leg was turning from bloody bandage to normal pants, just as Will is coming out, and just looking at Will and just well, I suppose y'all are all right.
Yes.
Will is looking and says, "Sure, and you seem not dead."
I put that more Alveron looks at the injured leg and just fuck it, drops all of the illusion, because also with Will, they believe that Will can see pretty much anything, because Will
Sure.
kind of has a handle on all this shit. He just drops it and just kind of hobbles over to them, because they're not great, but they're not fucked up, but they're still not great. So officers are like, well, the false trail worked. I don't know how much longer it's going to last for. Looks around. We're not alone, right?
Oh, sure. They're all in this tent. You can't. It's the magic. You can't see through it. But they're all fine.
You just hear from outside the tent the word, "Hi."
Alveron just kind of in vaguely the direction that Medea's voice just came from. Can I just looking at Will, just like, is there food? I'm sorry, I'm peckish.
I'm gonna make a medicine check to see how injured Alveron is. What's this? Sure, there's some food, I think, probably in the tent. You can't come in, it's the nature of the magic. I didn't choose this. This is Sulveran's tent. But you certainly can't come into it.
I think at that point Uba pops their head out and you just see Uba's floating head and they say that's rough and then they go back in.
Fair though. That's fair.
Somebody could bring you food. They can hear us.
I'm fully expecting like a chicken bone to be thrown to me at some point.
Like a packed piece of like rations is like flies out of the dome and like is aimed vaguely near you.
Fantastic.
The silver throat.
Can we have a sleight of hand off to see who catches it between Will and Alveron?
Sure.
Oh, funk yeah.
I feel like we both have the instinct to catch it always.
Is everybody
like,
in the tent just sitting there like listening? Like a
Not
bunch of
Will.
kids. Like a bunch of kids listening up to like at the door.
Alveron crushes it. I mean, you guys can see them.
Yeah, we're all just like watching this go down.
So I would love it if Jack, if you're okay with this, like you and I are just kind of looking at each other like, okay, I get it. I let everyone off. It's alright. Everyone tried to pack this here. Can I get a sandwich? And someone throws it and just you and I both reach for it and just Alveron just kind of
It was a better throw than... Yeah. Yeah. It just was like aimed more towards Alveron. Sure. It says anyway, you'll have to rest out here, I suppose.
I'll take watch. I've got it. Oh, Captain Mine. Just kind of...
I don't know that I accept members of my crew that just walk off on their own.
Oh, that's where we're going with this. All right.
Sulveran's just sitting there watching this. He's got his arms crossed, knowing full well he can get up, dispel the tent, and then recast it, inviting Alveron in to have this conversation. But he's looking at the others, just like one at a time.
Yeah, no, Killer walks out at this point.
Yep, and he just watches that, and then he looks back at Will, and he just like slowly takes a bite of his preserved meat.
Don't you know, Alveron, that you're not supposed to split up from the rest of the group? It's in every story. Bad things happen.
So just looking...
Will's going to walk away and let Keller handle this. Like, that feels like the right choice.
You've sicked a young preteen girl. You have done all the work you need to make somebody feel shame for their wrongs.
So just looking at Kala, just looks around and just... To be clear, led a group of devils away from us. Allowed the party to seek refuge, and then took direction to get back to you. I looks at Sandwich, looks at Kala, looks at Sandwich, looks at Kala.
You know you could have been caught. Oh.
I could have.
It's very dangerous.
But I would. But
everybody would have fought together.
If we all would have been made, that would have been more dangerous. It was better to risk my life than risk everyone else's.
You should have just
and then
Uber's
immediately, I'm flavoring it as a Reuben, digs into the Reuben because, dear God, it has been a tumultuous couple of hours.
Up a Reuben.
Yeah. Will's like, you should have just trusted Uber's magic the way Uber trusts my magic.
Uber just pops their head out of the tent, scowls, and then goes back in.
Hold on, who are you scowling at? Because that's important.
Specifically, Will.
Will's in the tent now. Will left Keller to do
Oh, that's right. Uber will just scowl at you in the tent then.
But once Alveron starts eating, Will's gonna head back outside and say to Keller, well, look, everyone's back now. Everyone's angry at Alveron. It's fine. These things happen. Sometimes everybody's angry at one person.
Not angry.
But
You're
maybe you could-
welcome. Okay.
Well, you just...
I'm just
The
disappointed.
problem is that there's no way of you proving that you are the reason that we weren't followed. Maybe Uber's magic's the reason. But I do commend your bravery, and I don't like your stupidity.
Plus, you made us all worry.
Either way, sure, Kella, maybe Alveron can make it up to you by helping you with your puzzle.
Okay.
I don't know if they'll be as helpful as Sulveran, but
Okay.
she'll pull out a sheaf of, by now it's like a couple sheets of paper with detailed diagrams and like charts of how things in this word puzzle relate to one another, and it slowly begins to explain to you. They'll read it out and they'll explain what they've worked up to.
Now that it's clear that Kella will also be exposed to the poison in the sewer, Sulveran is finally going to stand up and dispel and then ritually, slowly, deliberately, just stepping past Alveron each time without quite acknowledging him, but keeping him within the circle. Recast that dome, and when he needs to move him just so that he's within the boundaries of it, he just kind of slides him into it.
Andrew, would you like me to make either an intelligence or a wisdom check before, just for the puzzle, whatever?
Make just intelligence.
Okay. Regular roll.
She's got you beat. She's way ahead of you. You can't make heads or tails of this word
Tell you what,
puzzle.
I'm looking at the numbers and just kind of the logic chains that she has, and just looking at it. I wouldn't have thought of that, but that's a good route to have gone down. Anyways, just
useless.
Absolutely useless.
Sorry.
I can hear, but I will be right back.
Also,
go ahead.
So also, what's in the background? I feel like Medea has been having a quiet, almost whisper conversation with the angel, asking "What's your name? Is there anything we can do for you right now?" Taking this moment of respite.
Yeah, me.
I'm gonna say that Uba is actually listening along to this, and they're kind of on their stomach, this, listening, and Kojin's sitting on their back, also listening.
It is a hushed whisper in a 10-foot room. Right?
In a very small space.
Yeah.
That's a
Uba's
little bit
just
echoey.
curious because they're I've seen some weird shit, but this is definitely some of the weirdest. So I'll listen.
I do feel like D&D conditions you to see 10-foot by 10-foot rooms is way smaller than they are.
Yeah,
it is
it's
small, but it's a dorm room. That's the
it's
size
a
of
small
an average dorm.
bedroom.
Yeah.
For the amount of people that are here, it's kind of crowded.
But if
we're just a couple of you, it would just be a smaller room.
They're not trying to hide it. Just you get the idea.
The angel's name, he will tell you, is Umial.
Can you spell that out somewhere?
Yes, it is in. So that the chat counts.
Okay. I'll ask them if do they have a sort of I don't know if angels have this, but they ask their name and who their quote unquote parent deity is, if it matters.
It's Saliel. Everything's gonna be great.
Yes, and they pull out their flaming greatsword and kill you all. Just backstab, crit damage, etc. No, the angel will pause, say, long ago I served the God of knowledge.
Domain?
Yes, if that is what you call him now. I have observed been bonded, slaved for millennia.
Take your time.
I scarcely remember such things. I was once in the third order of my kind. I don't even remember how I was trapped. I can tell you that the demon who kept me is very powerful. One of the Rengor. And anybody who wants to can make a religion check after hearing this new information.
Would I know specifically from the Book of Demonology just what this is?
I will give you advantage to recalling this information. If not, you can look it up later.
22.
Or you could
Point of
just
being
be
proficient
Alveron
in
and
anything.
nat 20 it without.
What is the point of proficiency?
You just crit. Just roll
I'm
well,
picking up
Jack.
proficiency.
I
next
can't
level,
say.
okay?
Just
Well,
roll well.
You can
just-
crit it.
Picking up
Yeah,
proficiency.
literally
Yeah.
just be sitting there like outside. So everyone's kind of like, so like leaving the party is kind of a bad idea. So anyways, I was part of this particularly niche level of castigation of angels. Like, oh, that level of castigation? Really? That one that was specifically indebted to this demon? Oh, really? Is that what happened?
This is more.
Anyways,
The knowledge roll
You
is
are
more
inside
about
now.
the demon than it is about the angel. I mean, the angel just told you what he is.
Also, I don't know if it matters, but Medea has done the thing where they've like taken off their cloaks so that the angel can like hide like their arms and like sort of cover themselves more or heavily, you know?
That'd be your shame, Angel, Medea has said, text-wise.
So, Sulveran, you actually fail. Medea and Alveron are the only two people who succeed. The DC here is 20.
That's about normal. It's about normal. I always, yeah.
Unfortunate
Why
it
cleric
is,
know
because you
jack
rolled
shit?
very well. It's important that you didn't know this, though. You might figure that out later why. I'll start with the 20. Alveron, you know what Narengor are. You remember hearing stories from when you were still trained to be a cleric of different demons. Most of that information didn't really stick with you, but you do remember the Narengor because they kind of freaked you out. Just the descriptions of them. They were lieutenants in Saliel's army in the sense of like the seconds to the Dark Goddess. These are powerful, mean, nasty creatures who, in their core, is flames of hatred. They are large creatures, winged. They kind of, various ones look differently. But some manner of sort of humanoid form, vaguely, obviously the wings, but usually has a bestial face. Sometimes wolf-like, sometimes bull-like, sometimes, other kinds of different creatures, bear-like, etc. And there, you remember stories of these creatures, during the Blight, killing companies, scores of people in battles by themselves. These are very dangerous creatures. Many of them have different names, titles, things like that. Medea, you remember reading much the same kinds of information as them. Alveron, in particular, I think this is maybe what stuck with you. on their death, when they die, if they can be taken down, they will take their killers with them. They explode in a fiery ball, their sort of final fury radiating outwards.
Is there? How do you spell the name?
Yeah.
Narangor. Sorry, I'm trying to make notes, and I'd like. It makes it easier for my brain to like keep processing.
Its name was Elkarthak as well. Alveron, you, just because you crit, I have to think of explanations. You remember seeing this name briefly as you glanced through, just by happenstance, a book in Melf's Tower, and remember that this one was particularly hated by the Elkar, but you can't really remember why. And the only reason you remember that at all is because you rolled a 20. Medea, you did not roll high enough to know the history behind it, so you just know about the creature.
Okay. Do I know if
go ahead.
we would be severely out of our weight class trying to kill such a thing?
There's different power levels to these things. They're not all equally as powerful. So
If we,
maybe
is it?
you also know, it's hard to say because one, you don't know how badly the divine radiance is affecting it. You know, it was, really messing up the hellhounds and the bearded devils. They had disadvantage. So if it had disadvantage on all of its attacks, if it was that weakened, and alone, all of you with the angel, you could take it. You think you could maybe kill this creature with an angel at your side.
I was gonna say, there's something that will help me wrap my head around how powerful is supposed to be considered this angel. In character, like, or out of character, are we considering something like, is this like a low-level angel, or is like, do we get the impression this is like a Deva, like an upper-tier Echelon angel that like, in their prime was something of substance and significance? Like, well beyond what we've seen.
Yeah. Let me just pull up the thing. I want to remember what. Where I was just looking.
Also, I do know
it's not as powerful as a Deva, but it's also not a whole super significant less than that.
Okay. Yeah, it'd still be like, with it on our side, it makes the difference. With him on our side.
Yeah, it's definitely on an individual level, more, actually, yeah, I would say more powerful than any of you on an individual level. Not by like a crazy amount, but certainly if you
They're
look
also
at like
meant to work in
HP and damage dealt and that kind of stuff.
And they're also very much like built to work in a team, I imagine.
Yeah.
Like angels.
Like this is not the angel who comes in and kills everything on its own. Like, this is one of a troop.
Okay. That really helps, yeah. You'll say, do you have any desire to slay this demon? Do you just wish to leave the city? We may have ways of helping you leave now, but there's a good chance we go to confront this thing, and I believe we could kill it with your aid.
Even if I did not have individual reasons for doing such a thing, I would help you, if only so that your bravery does not perish.
Thank you. Would I know if I could use ceremony the next day in any way to help them get back on their feet?
Not really. The main thing that's hurting it, or it's physically still wounded, is part of it.
It needs to just take a
the longer term issues are probably it's gonna have to get some help up in heaven, up in the celestial planes.
It's gonna need
are
an
not
actual,
capable of removing its scars and mental and physical is not something you could do here.
Yeah, I'm more looking towards something making sure that removing some of the burden off of it, I suppose.
Yeah, if you had greater restoration, I might
That's true.
give you some stuff there, but you're a little bit below that still.
There's no room for a leather couch and therapy in this small dome.
Unfortunately, not. I don't think an hour or two of therapy is going to help this Jade Angel.
Yeah. After we
skill proficiency.
After we slay this demon and leave the city, do you know where you're going to want to go?
Home. Back to my plane. I've been here for too long already.
That can be arranged. I have the resources as soon as possible.
Given enough time, I could make my way there on my own. Alone, it is difficult, but possible.
Oh, we have... Medea knows about banishment, right?
Yeah.
We have somebody who could use banishment to simply send you back to the plane.
Yeah, that would be helpful. Immensely so.
Just the rest of them, Medea looked at the rest of the group. Do you all want to go try and kill this demon?
The angel now will ask, what are your designs here? You activated the tower, which I was set to guard. But I don't really know your purpose.
We're meant to re-allow teleportation in and out of the city so that the Elkar, the elves that once inhabited this place, can reclaim it.
We're on a larger quest for resources to hunt and deal with a demon problem. This was part of it.
Well, it seems you already know the barrier that was set originates in the palace. Is guarded by Elkarthak. If treasure is what you seek below the throne, there are ancient things that might help you.
Do you know if there's a way to access the space beneath the throne before we have to go and deal with Elkarthak?
Not that I know of.
Right. Well,
there is. I
provided
know ways to
teleport
to there, but I am not capable of such things.
Do you know of a way we could find Elkarthak alone? Does he usually have company? You might not know that, but...
If the hosts are not there, the lesser devils, he usually keeps his personal hound, Amgat. A hellhound of greater power, size, speed. Personal scribe, which can cast some magic innately, is usually with him at all times, as well as 2 Maragon bodyguards who can protect him from damage unless they themselves are slain.
That's important information.
I think, is there any way we could perhaps lure away some of these people?
Perhaps. It would not be easy. He would sooner send others, not his personal entourage. But you might be able to lure him out with a challenge of single combat. The Narangor cannot refuse.
Do you think you could handle him in single combat?
Myself, no. Weakened though they might be, I do not think I could defeat them alone. Maybe if I were aided by great magics, if you had spells that could enhance my own abilities.
I certainly have some.
Hmm.
Do you know of any way that the heavens might be able to aid us here? Or are they completely cut off from this place?
They, as well as any other, are not capable of transporting to the city directly. Or as difficult as it is for any of you to pass through the sand barrier, it is even more so for one of my kind. I could not leave here as it is.
Could they give
Do
us
you-
any indirect blessings or help?
I will pray on this.
Do you face any particular challenge or risk of your binding resuming or other?
The binding is a process that takes months. I'm not worried about it in the short term, and I would gladly die. I would even, as a distraction, give myself up in this combat, but I cannot guarantee you that I will win. If that is what you ask of me, I will do it.
This is not what I was asking.
We would not ask you to do such a thing.
That is kind of you, but I am more than willing. It would be an easy sacrifice for me to make.
Hmm.
Can I roll to know about the bodyguards?
Yes, you
Maringo?
can make a separate check. Or the rest.
Oh yeah. Can I make the religion check as well?
Sure. This one I will say if you are proficient. I should do that more often.
So all I care about is if they can be charmed.
They can be. All of the creatures, apart from the Hellhound, that they've mentioned, are resistant to magic innately. Although the tower might be affecting that, but normally they would all be resistant to magic. The Maragon are, as the angel said, consummate bodyguards. They will interpose deadly blows with their own body. So mechanically, if it's next to another creature, it can, as a reaction, choose to take that hit.
So, with my 23, I want to know. It's fine if Will can't work this out without seeing it in practice. But if I suggested for one of the Maragon to challenge the Naringor in single combat, that would distract the big demon while it just wailed on its own bodyguard.
Yeah, from what you know of these things, that would be a really quick fight.
But it takes out one of the bodyguards.
But yeah, if you could suggest the Maragon to do it, from what you know, even if Helkarthak understood that it was being forced to do this magically, it would, out of pride, probably kill the bodyguard still. So yeah, that definitely could work. Yeah.
What if you
That's
did
enough.
that to its sage? Like the whatchamacallit?
The
The
scribe.
Hellhound?
Yeah, the scribe. Like you just had to beat the shit out of his little nerd.
Yeah, I mean that definitely. If the suggestion were
That's a
successful,
suggestion.
He just fucking grabs
Right.
his scribe and puts him in the toilet.
suggestion is the
I
one where
will,
like you can do like a sentence, right? It's not
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah.
so the sentence would be challenge.
challenge
I'll go
your
back to
master to
single
single
combat.
combat. Yeah, I
Tell-
mean that would probably work.
All right. Well,
Tell how
that
how
is a good thing to know.
As far as the scribe devil, which is what you understood it to be, these things are kind of like greater imps. They're bigger, they're medium sized creatures, but they have a similar tail attack, poisonous tail attack. But they can also cast a number of spells. A lot of them more utility, like Stone of Truth, Detect Magic, etc. But with 23, it can also do some damage. It has some spells in its repertoire that do those things. Not all of them have the exact same spell list, but you know that for sure.
Well, it seems that the option is either we leave the city right now. Well, not right now, but tomorrow. Or we go and finish the job that we came here to do, which I think is my preference.
I'd like to finish the job as well.
Agreed.
Plus, we know the benefit. If we take down the teleportation, we were offered a sum of money just for getting here, but what we were offered if we managed to accomplish this would entirely change the kind of resources we'd have to rescue Toralis.
Not to mention, once we get back, looking over at the angel, having there's no reason that someone amongst the clergy at home can't communicate with this being and understand exactly what we've done
Perhaps we
and
could.
this angel's place in it all.
Plus, with that kind of resources, then I'll look to Alveron. I fear the Blackened Sky would have a much harder time dealing with people who have the infamy and power behind them of small or significant titles in the city.
I think the
Alveron
Blackened Sky
looked-
might have a problem dealing with us.
Yes, it would turn the tides in many, many respects.
I think that.
I'll-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, there's a moment of greed that goes across Alveron's face. And it's the greed of they can't touch me. But you see it very, very quickly fades behind the group of, well, they can't touch us if these people are indebted to us. And you see it quickly fades to that. But you do see that moment of I am untouchable if
Yeah.
no. And then that kind of mentality shift happens.
I think that Uba is actually surprisingly going to be the cautious one here. Maybe Kojin has
Not
given them
surprising
some.
anymore.
Fair enough. But they kind of look over at the angel and say, "It seems that my companions are quite enthusiastic about this, but realistically, what do you think our chances are of success?"
I have only seen you fight myself, and briefly, I can tell that you are strong, that you have those of strong faith. If we were prepared, knowing what is there, I think we can do it. As I said, if victory means my sacrifice, if your lives mean mine, I will do that.
I think
Do
Uba
we-
looks a little bit smug. when the angel said that we fought really well, and looks slightly nervous, but is also still definitely nervous. But they'll keep their mouth shut.
You are very willing to sacrifice yourself. If we left without approaching this demon, would you also go?
I think they said they couldn't leave, right?
From what you understand, yeah, it from what they said, it's very difficult to impossible for them to cross the sandstorm.
Without a banishment, like if a banishment spell happened, they could consent to the banishment spell, right?
Yes. You don't know how that's going to interact with the sandstorm, but
Yeah, they could just be like quote unquote like torn apart by the barrier or something.
Okay.
So given that they could not go, Sulveran is going to simply turn to the others and say, it is a poor... He stops looking for the words in common. We would be derelict of duty to remove him from his chains and not secure him safe passage out of the city.
Alveron agrees with you strongly.
I think it meets, the angel meets Sulveran's eyes and says, I was dead before today. You have redeemed me. If I die now, then that will be fine.
Agreed. But better you die in battle or have a chance of survival alongside us than be left here among these things.
Yes,
Oh.
I will not recklessly give my life. I
An old
just,
Valkyrie.
I just mean to say that if it comes down to it, if in this fight you take it up and tides turn against us, I will stay for you to escape. As long as I am able.
If they attempt to charm you again in some way, would you prefer we take your life before they can capture you again?
Sulveran just looks at Medea like he can't even imagine needing to ask that question. It's just like one of those rare times where he looks at Medea and there's clearly no common understanding between them at all.
The creature nods. The angel nods.
Well,
I do not think that they are capable of doing that at this time. Now that
I
I
think
am re-binding me, it's no small feat.
I think in the future to come, if we are to slay dragons of demonic renown, this would be a good first test for our new abilities and skills.
All right. Well, it seems like we have an accord and that we're going to go fight the Narangor Helkarthak tomorrow. Probably tomorrow. We could wait
Maybe
2 days.
a day or two, maybe some time to scout out and find an entrance, guard
I
rotations.
think we're going to go through the sewers, right?
I think the sewers would be the easiest way.
Is there a reason to not go tomorrow if we can just walk through the sewers?
Time to gather information.
We have a copy of the maps
Yes.
of the city based off of everything. Do the sewers give us sort of like essentially what I'm asking is, do we have the ability to hide ourselves away, take a long rest, restore ourselves, and be secure before we move on to kind of a vulnerable position?
I don't want to mislead you. The sewers are not foolproof. I mean, you have the dome up and everything, so it's going to be pretty hard for you to get found. You have been rolling very well. I was actually surprised that you weren't caught. Lots of good stealth rolls. But the sewers are much more hidden. You will be able to get to the palace and get up there. And have a much lower chance of being spotted than if you were to take the bridge. If you took the bridge, you would have to fight the rocks. I will just say that. Like, the rocks will see you.
Gotcha.
There's almost no way for you to get all the way across the bridge without being spotted.
Okay, but if we burn spell slots for it, it seems like we could take a long rest with protection in the sewers and come mostly fresh at this fight.
Yeah. I mean, I will make the rolls to make sure that you guys aren't found in the sewers, but
as a group, how do we feel about that? Do we feel okay?
I like that.
I feel like there's no point in waiting any longer. It just gives us more chances to get caught.
I'm excited.
Gotcha. So take the long rest and then pursue this kind of with like the next session and be ready to fight through.
Yeah. I will say just to, I mean, it sounds like you're going to do the fight. If you waited 2 days, like, the longer you wait, the more chance that they are able to deactivate the tower again.
Gotcha.
Okay, yeah. So it's do or die.
Does anyone have any objection, I guess, to kind of what we're putting forward?
Let's do it.
Uba does. I don't.
Uba's like, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm excited to finally hit the conclusion of this place.
Yeah, this has been a fun arc. This has been.
They feel like the PCs are very much going to come out of this changed.
I agree.
Like, it feels like
changes.
this is very good step, like, representative, like, if we kill this demon and come out of this as, like, the change from, like, aspiring heroes to people who have legitimately accomplished a deed of renown,
Just to get this last thing in, Will, you hear a voice in your head saying, you could leave me behind. You don't have to take a bag into this fight, right? I could stay here. I mean, you could come get me later.
I want everyone to know that the bag is very on board with coming into this fight and will also give up his life.
I will use the bag as a shield if need be.
No.
Thank you, bag.
Although, actually, Bag, whose name I do remember, Will definitely remembers. I as Jack. Can't look at my notes. I'll leave you down here and come pick you up if you've got something else to offer of value that will be more valuable than your many skills.
Do you have any silver or holy water?
Because all Sulveran has heard has been the bag's apparent great willingness to sacrifice himself. Sulveran will say to Will, perhaps he should not have to die if he provides everything that he has, so that he should not fall with us.
We could rig putting a bag of holding into him, and the implosion might kill the beast entirely.
What if we put the bag in front of my shield with some staples to scare the demon in one-on-one combat?
Okay. Just here.
What's a staple?
Take this fire resistance potion and forget I said anything.
Sure. Yeah. Will will take the potion and just stow that in her jacket somewhere.
Just for narrative's sake, I would love it if Alveron did not at all hear the back and forth. Just saw Will like arguing with an apparent just.
Oh yeah,
we all
it's just talking to Will.
Nobody saw it.
As far as it remembers, the rest of you guys don't like being talked to.
Yeah.
Blah blah. What in the world is this nonsense? Blah 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 blah. What's happening? Just potion like pops up out of the mouth of the sack, and just I don't know how dexterous Will wants to be about this, but just like, whoop.
Yeah, Will's pretty dexterous.
Well, thanks for complying with all of that. And just
good job, Bag.
Watching this, just being like, nope, absolutely not, nope.
Yep.
And then just start like scouting out and starting to do the preparation for traps and general preparedness for the area.
Yeah. And then the only thing I have to do during the night is I want to cast Find Familiar. And I had an idea about something with Find Familiar, but I want to talk to you about it for next time.
Okay. Ort will also say, Medea, I could, since you seem to take a lot more hits than me, I could bless your armor tonight. That way you would be more protected instead of me.
I would gladly receive that.
Okay.
You
may have my blessing of the forge.
If anyone wants to heal Alveron up before the long rest, like the limp is mostly gone, but
you can take 4 hit point heals from me, and that's all I can give you.
Or we'll pump a couple cure wounds into you.
Yeah, Sulveran has just basically very obviously not acknowledged Alveron's wounds because he saw him attempt to hide them, and so he's just not said a word to him, and he's just kind of wandered around. The last time
you literally been doing like in the name of honor. I totally understand. Is that?
Do you need more than that,
Or
Sean?
you can get back, Alveron, you can get back 15.
I see the 15.
And you will also get a long rest, so you can spend hit dice as well.
With that and with the long rest, totally good. With Ort's laying on hands. So for narrative purposes, I guess it'll be like, oh, thank you, Ort. Totally, like I imagine Ort's healing kind of comes in the form of like why don't you take a nap, sweetheart? And Alveron's just like, you know what? In that total boom, I'll take the next watch. Funk just passes out. And anyone with like the medicine skill check probably sees Alveron's leg re-knitting while they take a sleep. But otherwise he's like, wow, Alveron must be tired, but everyone else is just like, so wow, Alveron's kneecap just moved like 15 degrees. Is he okay?
I do want to...
Assuming that we're doing the longer rests, we'll get up an hour early, cast Mage Armor, short rests, and Arcane Recoveries to spell slow.
Sure, that's fine.
If it matters to... during the watch, I'd just ask the party time to have the watch with the angel to sort of time to converse with them.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
I'm also gonna... Do I still have my Find Steed? I feel like that's important. I imagine not.
With you?
Or somewhere in the city.
They're still in the city. All your mounts have been chilling, at the edge of the city still.
Okay.
Maybe
I'm just
they could
eating
be dead.
from the rations.
I'm just gonna re-prep Find Steed.
Scorpion and Medea's Find Steed protecting the simple horses.
Is there any way I can before it comes to do the demons care about a steed coming through the city, or do they just treat it like an animal?
They might. They certainly might follow it. I will not rule out that possibility.
Okay, I'm just gonna resummon my steed in the morning if need be.
Is there any evidence that they would not think an animal wandering through the city would be weird?
Yeah.
Have we seen any animals?
No, you've seen sand shrews and rats, stuff that was in the city they just haven't killed.
I'm gonna prep Find Steed and just... Okay, that's the party too. Should I have Find Steed?
Should you have...
should I prep it and then dismiss it where it is and resummon it there, so that I have the steed?
I have to roll to see if Will knows about Find Steed.
Medea would ask this out loud.
Well, Scruggs, we might not be in a position where your steed is necessary, but do you feel more comfortable with your steed?
I think in this scenario it would provide more maneuverability to get to, if need be, the scribe or the bodyguards or the dog.
I mean, if you have the spell slots, then
find yourself a
there's no
steed.
reason not to.
But you're using it from tomorrow's spell slots, right? You don't have them
Yes,
today.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm dropping one. I'm basically going to lose 1 second level smite, but I'll have the steed, which will be nice.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sulveran will collect or go on watch with Ort so that they can, and we can do this off camera, but so that he can coordinate his clericing with him. Who will
Okay.
handle the majority of the healing? Who will handle, like what kind of battle spells? He's very interested in this other cleric opportunity.
Feel really excluded from the supportive line. Just like I just do my own thing. That's fine. Whatever.
What's what?
Don't worry about it. I'm just gonna cast only magic missile. That's the only spell I'm casting tomorrow because I've been left out of this conversation.
You were gonna take your watch with somebody else, weren't you?
No, I didn't say
Could've
anything.
sworn-
Just,
Oh, I could have
just
sworn
living my
you were.
best life.
Ah, okay. Well, you always do your watch with someone else, so I just assumed that you were gonna watch with Uba.
Sure. Yeah, I will. I will.
uh,
I'm gonna teach Uber a new gambling game.
Claps at that.
Ah.
God.
Trojan
It's
wins.
fine.
It's very annoying.
I'll take my watch with the angel, and like the entire conversation, just like
No. Medea's already doing
No,
that.
Medea claimed the angel.
You
I
could do
Take
it.
your watch with Keller now.
You could do
Medea
a
is
three-person one.
No,
Though.
Alveron can watch with Uber and Will, and we can all play.
No, I'll take it with Kala.
again.
I'll take the LSAT again.
Ella doesn't
It's
get a
fine.
watch.
Keller doesn't take a watch.
Yeah, she's
She's
too
not-
small.
What would she do? She
Or
Get logic puzzles wrong. That's what she'd do, Will.
Uba and Alveron, and then Will, Ort, and Sulveran, and they can just have their support discussion.
That
Will,
works.
Will saw a future where Will wasn't invited to that discussion and doesn't want to be a part of it now.
Magoof.
But we should probably end now.
Yes, we
What
will.
with it being 3:00.
We will fade out with scenes,
Will saying all the
a
possibilities of
montage
bullying.
of all of these discussions happening. These will likely occur in text over the break because it's going to be 2 weeks.
Oh yeah,
That's true.
Yeah,
I forgot.
We have
Oh,
time
we're
to
taking
which is
prepare.
a little, not disappointing, but it's gonna
What
be
if
a-
I
it's gonna be a
converted
long
all
wait.
of you to pagans before the next Thanksgiving?
Hey, I could play next week, but people got families.
No,
and
yeah.
stuff. All right, so this has been session number 20 of the Imris Saga. Thanks for coming out. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, everybody.